Every day I wake up and I feel that today is another day, just like yesterday was another day, like tomorrow gonna be another day.
Sheesh! Sheesh! We got some fire, boys! Goated 2026 poll! Algo poll! This music is fire! Damn, this is a legendary algo pull for real. Just found this by chance. We are back. Saturday, January 24th, 2K26. Big blizzard coming in hot, boys. It's coming in hot. Is it here yet? I was looking out the window. I don't see nothing. I didn't see nothing out there. Is it all fake? Are they lying to us? This is Soul Sounds on YouTube. This video right here, to be precise. This shit's fire, I think. All right, let's turn this down just a bit. A little more. Okay. How is everyone doing? We're back yet again on a Saturday night. We got actually kind of a lot of shit to talk about. I was surprised because I felt as though not much was going on during the week. And then I'm like scrolling the timeline. I'm like looking at my bookmarks and shit. I'm looking at different areas of the internet. And I'm like, you know, there's actually kind of a lot to talk about. And we're not even going to be able to get into a lot of it. I know the WEF was going on. That's something, there's a lot of crap that was going on with that. But I'm not going to talk too much about that. Yo, this is Dragon Ball Z. I'm not going to talk too much about the WEF because there's one clip I have in here, and there's like a summary that's given about the Board of Peace or whatever that Trump unleashed maybe is a better word to use. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We have the Blizzard. The Blizzard of 2026, it's coming at us right now. It's on its way. It's gonna be here any second. It's on Prime. It's 2-day shipping. It's gonna be here any second. I'm bundled up. I hope you're bundled up. I hope you have a warm drink. I hope you have a blankie on. I hope you're chilling and vibing out on a Saturday night. Everything's gonna be, people are already preparing for it. Things are gonna be closed. People are buying out all the toilet paper and all the milk and eggs. We're gonna get in and look at some of that. We have the Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, clavicular Miami bullshit. All that happened with that. Not all. We're not gonna go through the whole night. You know, there's a lot there. There's hours there to go through. But we're gonna look at what happened with that. A fiasco. And then what else do we got? And then we have another video to follow up on at the end, if we have time. So interesting night, good, interesting stuff ahead of us, fun stuff ahead of us. I am excited. I hope you are as well.
The moon and the stars, the plants and the animals, all living things,
Yeah, that's a good place to end it. That is Dragon Ball Z. He's doing the spirit bomb. He's getting the spirit energy. Excited about the promise of snow. Groovy music. Yes, I know. It's a legendary algo poll. I just saw it right before I started the stream, and I was like, this looks interesting. This looks promising. Like I said, it was Soul Sounds on YouTube. Check them out. I'll give them a subscribe. Give them a subscribe. I just found them, just saw them randomly. It's this video in particular. Kind of a small channel, but that was a legendary algo poll. I'll take it. Blanky, yep, grab a blankie. Grab a blankie. I'm cold, man. I'm freaking freezing. I got the heater on in my room. And before, when I started the stream, the lobby music, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go and chill and like hang out in there for a little bit. I had the heater on in there, and then I'm like scrolling on my phone, and then, you know, I'm like sucked into this this kind of dream state on my phone, just scrolling the timeline, and the next thing I know, it's 6:57, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. I gotta go. It's time to go. It's time for the stream. Anyways, but we're here, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to get into. But before we get into any of that stuff, subscribe on YouTube. It's Jacob on YT. Let's get us to 300. Let's get us to 300 subscribers. My uncle said he would subscribe to me once I hit 300. So we got to get me to 300 subscribers. We're on our way. We're trucking along. But let's get some subscriptions. Jake M on YT. Follow me on X as well. Jake M on YT. Same exact thing. Helps me out a ton. I don't ask for anything from you people other than one little click, like I just did right there. Boom, follow. I just followed Michael Saylor on the right. Oh, you guys can't see it on your end, but I just followed Michael Saylor on X, right? The king of Bitcoin. But yeah. What do you guys think? You think this is going to be a big blizzard? Do you think this is going to be crazy? Do you guys think that this is going to be... They keep Trump came out, FEMA's standing back and standing by. They're talking about how we have to prepare. It's just sweeping the nation. Oh, and did you guys like the thumbnail too? The little frozen face I did here. I threw that through I threw it through the AI. There's a good thing AI can do. There you go. Boom. I don't have to edit it myself. I just threw it in there and they did that. Smacked that up. Hit me with the icicles and the snow. But yes, please like the stream, comment, subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And subscribe to me on, follow me on X, Jake. I'm on YT as well. All right. Let's move along. I got this sent to me. You guys can always send me stuff. If you want to send me something, you can send it to me on X. My DMs should be open. If you ever have anything to send, anything you see that you're like, wow, that's actually really funny. Jake would love that. Let me make sure my DMs are open. I've been saying that for a while, and I'm like, what if my no, they're open. Yep, they're good. Okay. Yeah. Anytime you guys find anything, go ahead and send it to me. I'll check it out. If it's something I find interesting or worthwhile or anything that I can, scrape off a crumb of content off of, I will check it out. And potentially we'll watch it on the Saturday special. But yeah, so this was sent to me. Let's check this out. Make sure this is all good.
At the greatest time in human history to be alive. You are alive at the greatest time in human history to be alive. Technology, healthcare, Elastigirl. But you are also alive at the worst time in human history to die. Holy fuck. I don't think this needs context, but just in case it does, I believe this is a picture of the car of the lady who was recently shot and killed by the ICE agent, and on the ground is what appears to be Minecraft loot. So I repeat, holy fuck. The internet just does not give a shit anymore. If you die in 2026, the internet is going to turn you into a meme. It does not matter how loved or hated you are. It doesn't even apparently matter how recently you died. I mean, fuck, it's January 17th. This happened like 3 days ago, and they're already making memes out of it. By the way, this is Charlie Kirk's legacy now on the internet.
Watching your girl getting by some mother, and you gotta sit there and watch this shit.
As long as I'm getting some of that G0YBEAMS and it's the right amount, we can earn dang.
Martin Luther Kirk. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, what is that?
I don't even know what this fucking is or how it happened or why it's so popular. I want to believe that this is like the dead internet theory or something and all these posts are being done by AI or bots or something and not 13-year-old kids. I hope that 13-year-old kids don't have this sense of humor, but they do. I know, I've met... Fuck. Like one of Guy's greatest fears is dying with like a fleshlight or something embarrassing under your bed because you can't hide it anymore. But I didn't even think of dying and having your entire face plastered all over the internet as a meme. That's way worse. Seneca once said, "Why should I fear death? If I am, death is not. If death is, I am not." Well, maybe Seneca, because AI and brain damage in the youth population didn't exist in the year 26, but it does in the year 2026. Here's a picture of you as a cucumber. And you say, why should we fear death? My face on the body of a cucumber plastered all over the internet as a meme for all of eternity. That's a reason to fear death. I'm gonna leave you with one final thing to think about. Could you imagine if 9/11 happened in 2026? And more specifically, could you imagine the comment section if like CNN made a post on their social media accounts like, oh hey, earlier this morning there was a tragedy, a plane crashed into the Twin Towers.
Yo, it's so true. Yo, Kirkification. If you guys know, Kirkification is what he's talking about, where they've just like transposed Charlie Kirk's face onto like everything. What was that? Genghis Kirk, Martin Luther Kirk, Charlie Pork is calling. Burger King, dude, the Chad, Chad Kirk. This needs to be. Oh man, that's crazy. I need to. I need to not click on that. That was gross. But there needs to be, somebody needs to study this in depth. I feel like there's a more pernicious reason why this stuff is proliferating to the degree it is, but at the very least, we, take it for what it is. It's like a social phenomenon. Like, it's just like instilling like psychopathy in the youth. Like, wow, let's just like meme every tragic event. Renee Good, Charlie Kirk, like regardless of your politics, right? Regardless of your politics, how you feel. I mean, it's a tragedy, right? It's a tragedy. Nonetheless, somebody died. Like, but it's like, oh, let's just like meme the shot of it and make fun of it and totally be disassociated. Because I mean, that's what the internet is. Like, you're completely disassociated from the real world consequences of these things. Nobody cares anymore about even something as fundamental as death in a lot of ways. Did you guys ever see that? What's that? That song. There's a song they made. Yes. Let's see if I can pull this up.
I'd spot the Berkey, Charlie Kirky. I'd spot the Berkey, Charlie Kirky. I just Charlie Kirky.
Dude.
I'd spot the Berkey.
Dude, this has 2.8 million likes. This is a Charlie Kirk song. And it has 2.8 million likes on TikTok. There was a longer version too. Oh my gosh, dude. Is this it? This might be it.
Charlie, Charlie, Kirky. I spot the perky. Charlie, Charlie, Kirky. I just Charlie, Charlie, Kirky.
Hey, he'll be coming
This is
around
it.
the mountain when he comes. He'll be coming around the mountain when he comes. He'll be coming around the mountain.
Best time to live, worst time to die, boys. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. I mean, this is kind of a banger, though. This is kind of a banger.
Charlie, Charlie, Kirky. I spot the perky. Charlie, Charlie, Kirky.
He'll be driving 6 white horses when he comes. He'll be driving 6 white horses when he comes.
No shame, dude.
Driving 6 white horses.
Driving 6 white horses. What is that? What is driving 6 white horses? Oh, is it? It's a okay. It's a song. Oh, it's just okay. I was like 6 white horse, like white horse, like a pale horse. Behold, a pale horse. Hello, hello. Waylon Jennings, I talked about it. Yeah, it's just honestly, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. The song is kind of funny. Okay, I'll be honest, but like, maybe that's like part of it. It's like this like overwhelming campaign to like erode at the seriousness of life. Like that is part of the internet. Is like nobody gives a shit anymore about anything, especially the younger generations. Like they do not care. We've talked about the Gen Z stare. Like, okay, you go and even interact with Gen Z, younger generations in real life, and they're just like, they just do not. They do not care anymore. Oh dear, make it stop. It's a coping mechanism. That song, I'll say it kind of hits. Kind of hits. All right, let's move along. I don't know. That was sent to me, and it's absolutely true. Like, living today, dude, we have you probably live the longest in any time in history. You have the great technology, but then once you die, it's like, dude, you'll just get people Fortnite dancing, making Minecraft edits, AI, Charlie Kirkification. Shit, man. Do not let this happen to me. Do not let this happen to me if I die. No Jacob, no Jake M edits. Please, God, no, none of that. We got Tim Dillon here. I saw this video it was an AI delivery robot that got hit in the middle of the street. I was like, oh man. I hope little buddy's okay. I hope he's all right.
Very sad here. Food delivery robot hit by train after getting stuck on tracks in Florida. Robots are becoming part of our society, and we're reporting on their deaths.
A helpless food delivery robot stuck on the tracks as a train barrels towards it.
Oh! God! When I see these little food robots, and maybe that robot committed suicide because it didn't want to go on. Maybe they're like, no one's even thought of that. The robot's like, what do? I fucking take burritos around Fort Lauderdale all day? What kind of life is this? At least if I was a Waymo, I have the fucking wind in my hair. And the robot probably got one final order. Like, I don't know. The robot probably got an order. Like, go to Famous Dave's barbecue, pick up a rack of ribs, and deliver it to this pregnant woman who's drinking. It's going to spit out a little demon kid with fetal alcohol syndrome. Looks like Gollum. So on the way to Famous Dave's, the robot said, fuck it. I'm going to throw myself in front of the bright line because I can't bear to do it. I can't bear to do it anymore. So the next time you see a food robot on the street doing its job, don't kick it, don't sit on it, don't make fun of it. That has the same problems as you. The meaninglessness that you feel in the pit of your stomach, that food robot feels it just like you do. And it's going to do the same thing you're going to do, which is throw yourself in front of the bright line.
The train barrels towards it.
There it is!
There it is. There it is. You what do you say?
Very
You're the
sad
same.
here. Food
You're
delivery
the
robot-
same as this delivery robot with the meaningless of your life. You're just an economic widget waiting for it all to end. This is your destiny. And with Charlie Kirkification, even when it's over, even when the misery and the meaninglessness is over, they're still going to dance on your grave. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, that's kind of depressing, kind of dystopian, kind of depressing. But it's true. It's true, man. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore. What if 9/11 did happen in 2K26? How would people react? Well, they already are reacting to it. I mean, we've basically memeified, what is it? Jet fuel can't melt steel beam. I mean, we've already done that. Did anybody memify October 7th? That was a tragedy. Or any of the shootings? I mean, somebody probably did out there, but it wasn't as widespread as something like Charlie Kirk or something like 9/11, right? Like those memes, those things have not proliferated to the same degree if people have. This was something that showed up on my timeline today. This was from the 23rd, so yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw this, but apparently there was a vote in the House. It says 57 House Republicans join almost all Democrats to ensure the government can shut off future cars whenever it wants. So there was a bill. Let's see, where was this? It was Section 24220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that requires that all new passenger vehicles sold after 2026 feature advanced drunk driving prevention technology that can monitor, limit, or shut down vehicle operation. This kill switch mandate is designed to detect driver impairment and prevent operation if the driver is over the legal blood alcohol limit. Thomas Massey apparently came out to want to amend this bill to get rid of this, but it did not pass. This is dystopian. Okay, this is dystopian. They're saying they're mandating every car after 2026 have a kill switch in it to where the government can shut it off if the car, is it the car, is it the manufacturer, or is it who's determining here whether or not you're impaired? Is it if you're going outside of your lane, or I mean, what's the boundaries here? What are we saying? What are we talking about? Doomer says the government can and will shut off your car remotely if you misbehave. This is why driving an old shitbox is more important now than ever. I mean, this is AI future dystopia 101, right? This is like exactly what we've been talking about this channel for so long. Is that the more things become interconnected, more centralized, more on smart, there's smart meters, your smart TVs, your Wi-Fi, it's all interconnected in this global network that's controlled by a governing body. They can then disperse and push whatever, whatever law, whatever rules they want upon you, and then they can take away your usage of these things at will. So this is something that we are going to have, I guess, because I mean, unless he tries it again, but tries to amend it again. But as far as we know, this is in this bill, and that any future cars you have will have this kill switch. I had this idea when I was like 10. I said this. I remember thinking this where I was like, why do they, in order to prevent drunk driving, why don't they just have a breathalyzer in your car that makes you blow before you can even start the car? I thought that was a pretty good idea when I was 10. And even to some degree now, you know, you could see the logic of it. But the idea of giving over your ability of transportation, because without a car in a country like America, it's like nigh impossible to go anywhere. Being able to handing over the reins of that ability, the ability of transportation like that, to a governing body like the government, I mean, that's crazy. They can literally, I mean, you can extend that. It doesn't, you know, the front of it is drunk driving. Just like they did in the UK where they're talking about, well, we need to have ID digital verification for the internet to make sure that children don't log on to naughty websites. We need everybody to have digital verification. It's like, yeah, that's the front. That's the first excuse that they use. Or like with Venezuela, right? We gotta go to Venezuela and get rid of Maduro because of the drugs. That's the front excuse they use, but under it, we all know, like, if you're not an idiot, you can see, like, okay, you're throwing that out there, but ultimately it's about control, right? It's all about a control and limiting human individual autonomy. And I just constantly feel, the more and more I get older, just more and more I feel just restricted in what I can do in my everyday life. And soon enough, you're going to restrict me to drive. And I don't know, you know, especially with the way you see politics going. I mean, you have literally politicians are paying people to vote for them, right? You have Trump, who's like, I'm going to give you guys $2,000. I'm going to hand out money well, he doesn't say for his supporters, but, you know, it's kind of implied, like, you voted for me, you voted for a Republican, you voted for a MAGA person. Well, we're going to give you $2,000 because of it. And just the vitriol and the divisiveness and kind of the direction we're going with politics. It's like, yeah, I don't see how this doesn't result in something, you know, authoritarian and dystopian in the near future. If you write a bad comment, we're already seeing that in the UK, right? If you write a bad comment online, you get fined, you get imprisoned in some sense, right? Some of them go to that degree where it's like, oi, mate, you don't have a license for that. Oi, you said something naughty about Israel. And then we're going to get to the point where it's like, you can't drive. Sorry, mate, you've said too many bad words online. You cannot drive this month. Best to get walking. Whew. It's getting scary, boys and girls. I'm pro Thomas Massie. Yeah, I am too, actually. I am too. The more, like, I wasn't for a little while. I was kind of like skeptical of him. I mean, frankly, I'm still skeptical of all just politicians in general. But lately, the Venezuela, his position in Venezuela, his position on this, I'm becoming Massey pilled. I'm quickly becoming Massey pilled. And if there's some sort of political party that embodies more of that type of mentality, I think I could see myself voting for that. But, you know, we're stuck with this dog shit 2-party system for the meantime until, you know, didn't Elon Musk have a party he was going to start, the America Party? Not that I like Elon Musk, but like, let's try and let's start brainstorming some other avenues here for politics other than this Republican Democrat 2 wings of the same bird bullshit. And maybe Thomas Massie can you know, be at the helm, or at least some of this kind of thinking can be instilled in this party. Is driving a privilege or a right? I think it's a privilege, right? It's a privilege, right? Well, can you drive? You can drive on private. Can you drive on private property? I think you drive on private property, right? It's the license. Having a license give you access to public roads, right? See, access to the public infrastructure that is owned by the government. It's forcing you, right? It's forcing you and pigeonholing you into, well, you can drive, sure, but you can only drive on your property or on private property that allows you to. But if you want to use public roads to do anything, to go anywhere, you can't. You're gonna be shut off. But this isn't even, I mean, this isn't even allowing that, right? It's just going to shut you off even on private property, right? It's taking it even further than that. It's not saying, oh, you can't drive on public, on the roads, which is what we have now. If you drive on the roads and get pulled over and you're drunk, well, you get arrested or fined or whatever, and too many times you can get your license revoked, whatever. No, this is saying from the get-go, we're not even going to let you start your car. It's going to have a kill switch on it. Like, wow, that's crazy. That is authoritarian, man. It's similar to the internet, you know. It's like the internet is like, they could shut you off the internet. It's like, well, that's a privilege to have the internet. But then it's like, well, if everything around me is being continually interwoven and interconnected with the internet and having to be, you have to be online to be basically a person to survive in a lot of elements, to do things for work. It's almost like, no, it's actually not a privilege anymore. And people have talked about that, making the internet a human right, but it's like, it's almost like it's not it's a right almost at the point. It's getting to the point where it is. But they could just say, well, we're going to shut you off and ban you from everything on the internet. It's like, well, that's kind of limiting. That's kind of limiting in this society we've constructed that is continually being more interwoven with the internet, you know? But that's kind of how it happens, right? That's kind of how it works, is that new technology comes out, institutional adoption, it proliferates, it becomes the law of the land. And while it is still deemed a privilege and it's part of the private sector and it's something you kind of have to buy into, it's not a God-given right, it still is a ridiculous limiter because of the institutional adoption, because of the society that you live in, right? It's like you're a fish out of water then. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do then? Well, shouldn't have said those naughty things then. We don't have to, listen, we don't have to allow you we don't have to host you on our websites. We don't have to allow you to drive on our roads. And it's like, what the hell is this shit, man? Minority Report, yeah. You know, I still haven't seen Minority Report. Maybe I'll watch that tonight or tomorrow. Because I'm probably not going to be going anywhere tomorrow if the snow is as bad as people are saying. So maybe I'll watch that tomorrow. Because that is, I feel like it's just a slow encroaching, right? It's like things become centralized, things become beholden and beholden to a governing structure, the more technologically advanced they become. Because of, we need transparency, we need rules and laws on these things. We can't just have anybody using them at any time. We need people to follow a code of conduct, right? So we have to have a governing structure, which in theory, I guess, makes sense. But then that governing structure, you're beholden, once that technology proliferates to the degree that you have to use it, it's almost like, it's like food, right? It's like something that you have to do. It's a necessity in your life. Once that gets that degree, you're then beholden to that governing body. And you're like, okay, this is great. Church is canceled. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, churches are canceled. School's canceled. People are calling off work. I might call off on Monday, honestly. If it's really bad out, I might take a day. No faith, yeah. Our car, yes, it's our car. You're just borrowing it for the meantime. This is like, you'll own nothing in life. It really is. That is such a perfect quote for the future. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, right? That is like the perfect. That's what it is. You're gonna be using this shit. It's going to be recycled. You're going to be using it and utilizing it. But ultimately, you don't ever own anything. We own it. We control it. And we give you the say-so whether or not you're allowed to use it. Like, oh, great. I hate it when these people put their heads together for the sole aim of controlling us. Yeah, literally. They don't put their heads together for solving any problems, solving any of the issues of the world. They just do it for more and more centralized control. That's literally what it is. Like, case in point is the wall, right? Case in point is the border wall. You know, you could just build the border wall and it would keep out a large number of illegal immigrants that are flowing into this country. It, like, literally, I mean, that's just nature, right? It's like if you put a big structure up, people aren't going to be able to pass through it without, you know, of course, people are going to take these crazy, you know, extenuating circumstances to get through. I know, of course, but like, it's going to limit a lot of people. Just logically, it's going to limit a lot of people. And you could just build that structure and it would be there. And the people inside would not have to be under any sort of like controlling authority. But no, instead, we don't build the wall. We're going to create the AI grid to see, and then we're going to put in digital ID to make sure you're a legal citizen. And we're going to have ICE, this like pseudo Gestapo, you know, they're going to go around and they're going to go and kick down doors and shoot people. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I feel like, you know, you could have just built the wall already and it would have been there and we wouldn't even have to do 90% of what we're doing. But no. We need Palantir. We need to give more money to Anduril. We need these people to institute the AI grid system. 2016 is the real cutoff year for most of those master electronics. If you have Bluetooth at all, that can be backdoored by a talent party into the main control unit. Is this true? Can this still happen if the car has Bluetooth, but I never use it? Yes. Whoa. Also, side note, anything with remote start can be easily remotely turned off through the RF port. Good luck. Dude, I was just thinking about that. I wish I had a remote start on my car. Because it's so nice in the cold weather, you know, being able to start your car and go out and it's heated up and ready to go. Like, yeah, that shit's awesome. But you're telling me, what you're telling me, I'm hearing this for the first time, right? You're telling me ease of access and ease in the technologies, and the more these technologies come out, proliferate, make my life easier, the more they're able to be controlled. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. The closer they come to my being, the closer the people who control them are. Yeah, it's crazy. What? Right. What? Upgrade. Yo, this is another one. I think this is a movie, right? Yeah. This was a movie too, I remember seeing a while back. What is it? It's on Netflix. Dude, everything's on Netflix. Cyberpunk action horror. Yes, I want to watch this. Interesting movie. Have you seen it? Murray, have you seen it? 2046, bro. We're coming up on that quick. We're coming quick. It's like, yeah, man, you're like paralyzed or something. It's like, yeah, we'll put this chip in you and it'll make you walk again. But then at the same time, they'll be able to make you walk wherever they want you to walk. We're going to walk you to the IRS to pay your taxes. All right, we have some good schizo shit too to get into. I hope you guys are ready. This is the Blizzard schizo stream. We're getting into it. We're going to talk about some people's interesting takes on chemtrails here in a second. I'm ready, right? We're going to talk about G0YBEAMS here. I knew that G0YBEAMS were real. I knew it. But I'm going to grab another beverage real quick. and we'll get into the blizzard, some of the blizzard posts, and we will be right back. So don't nobody go nowhere. Not going to be schizoid hour. It's going to be like the whole stream is going to be pretty schizo, to be honest. Hope everybody is staying warm today. I am ready. I'm ready for the blizzard. Come on, blizzard. Come on, blizzard. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I'm prepared. I'm stocked up. I ran out and got all my toilet paper I need. I hope you guys did too. Okay, so people are getting a little crazy with this blizzard, though. And Trump's come out and he said, you know, oh, everybody prepare. It's coming up from the southwest. They're talking about it off on the coast of California some time ago. And it's going to be sweeping through all of America, essentially. People in the south are already getting hit by it. I got family in Tennessee. They're calling off work. They're hunkering down. And it's supposed to hit up here in Ohio tonight. But we're going to take a look and see how some people are reacting to this news.
Holy cow. Holy cow. I said I was going to come early and just get a couple things of peanut butter and water. The parking lot is packed at HEB. Bro, y'all are some scavages. Took everything.
Scavages?
Straight savages.
I like scavages.
Took everything.
It's like scavenger and savages.
No avocados? I'm pissed. Really?
Really?
Y'all didn't even leave potatoes? Man, y'all are wild. Y'all took all the damn meat too?
No, there's some there.
Man,
What is that?
y'all are crazy.
Sausage or
Y'all
something?
left just this? That's wild.
Ground turkey. Take it. It's yours.
Took all the meat too. I hope the power goes out and y'all lose it all. The chicken too? Oh, thanks. Y'all left 5. Crazy. Y'all legit don't even take the smart stuff.
Yeah, grab it.
Power goes out. All that food y'all bought is gone. This is what I come to, baby. All the milk gone.
I got peanut butter, so I'm
Hope we
good.
lose power and it spoils. Oh, y'all left me too. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
What state is this? I think he said it was Texas, wasn't it? Yeah. Leander, Texas. I went to the store on Friday after work. And honestly, it was busy, but I'll say this. Aldi's next to me was really busy. Aldi's was really busy. I saw it was packed. It was just like, oh, shit. I went to a different store, though. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty normal for what? It was like 5 o'clock on a Friday, right? It was relatively normal. But then when I went to, I got a couple things. What did I even get? I don't even remember what I got. I got some breakfast stuff. I went to go and get some bread. I stocked up on alcoholic beverages. And then I went to the egg section, and the eggs were decimated. I was like, all they had left was the 18 count. And I was like, I didn't really need that, but hell, maybe I do need it. I don't know. I mean, can you eat raw egg? Maybe I can eat raw egg. I think that's okay, right? I might get, what is it, salmonella or whatever the hell you can get. But I think people can do, you can drink raw egg. I saw Rocky do it. It's safe, right? But the eggs were just completely decimated, which, you know. But maybe, you know, down in Texas, if you hear there's a winter storm rolling through and Trump comes out and talks about FEMA is on, you know, standing back and standing by, like you might, in Texas might be like, holy shit, this is it. This is the end of the world. We got to go run, get your toilet paper. But up here, Ohio, you know, people are like, I survived the blizzard of 78. I can survive this, right? They're fine. They're like, there's nothing that's going to beat that. What are we supposed to get, like 12 inches or something? What was the blizzard of 78? What was that? How much snow? Yeah. January 26th. Wait. Second place on the list is 11.5. Wait, is this right? January 26th? Is this 1978 was 12 inches of snow? 12.2? Aren't we supposed to get like 10 to 12? Maybe this will be comparable, actually. Shit. Maybe I should have got more groceries. Damn. Oh, never mind. Okay, they got well over 3 feet. Okay, that's a little more. It's 3 times the amount they're saying tonight. That's crazy, though. 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts created snowdrifts as deep as 25 feet. Oh, geez. National Guard was on the highway back then? Shit, man. Over a foot of snow fell on January 26 alone, a record that still stands as the greatest snowfall in a 24-hour period. Wow. It was great. Yeah, you probably had a lot of snow days, right? Texas is preparing for a freeze. Dude, this guy bought out the whole freaking milk. He bought out the whole milk section. This person says this is the new toilet paper. You guys remember that during, was it COVID? Wasn't it during COVID? Everybody went and bought a bunch of toilet paper. Like, I guess toilet paper is important to a degree, yeah, but like as a necessity? Can you eat toilet paper? I mean, I guess you can eat it, but is it going to give you much sustenance? But everybody, you know, it's so weird. COVID was like, everybody's like, we got to get the toilet paper. We got to go get the toilet paper right now. Oh my gosh. How am I going to wipe my ass? That was like the first thing people thought of. And toilet paper was just gone, completely gone. Is milk going to be the new toilet paper? I don't really drink milk, so I'm kind of like, whatever. I do wipe my ass, though, so toilet paper is a lot more, it's a lot scarier when people buy up all the toilet paper. For this, folks aren't going to make it in life. I mean, for Texas, this is kind of, I mean, isn't that kind of nutty for Texas? Is this the climate change they're talking about? Is this the climate change everybody's been talking about? Is this finally it? Is it hitting? I drove my motorcycle to get cigarettes. In the blizzard of 78, you drove your motorcycle to get cigarettes. I bet you that was fun. I hope to God you smoked one on the way back. You got the cigarette hanging out lit and it's just like a blizzard. Just you're driving through that shit. No, weather happens in cycles, yeah. It used to be called global warming. Aren't we in a ice age right now? Is somebody just said that recently, and I was like, huh? They said we're in like a historical ice age right now, a cooling period in the world. I don't know. Maybe that's a bunch of bullshit, but. Family uploads a video after a trip to Costco showing them overstocking their pantry with many food products and toilet paper. There's the toilet paper. Do these people think the snowstorm will last for months? Damn, they're ready to go. I will say this, it does. Does this guy look? A lot of the guys, a lot of the people look of Hispanic, of the Hispanic persuasion. You know? Maybe they've never, you know, us Northerners, right? Maybe we are more like, we'll figure it out. We got it. But maybe the Hispanic people, immigrants who've come from the South, who've never really dealt with cold weather before, when they get told, hey, it's gonna be a big one, they're like, oh, how am I gonna? And then they overdo it and they go and grab a bunch of shit and a bunch of toilet paper. AI, it's not real. Is this AI? Now, why do you have to say that shit to me? Why do you got to say that to me in chat? You in chat, Betsy in chat. Why do you got to say that? Now I question what I'm watching here. Now I'm having an existential crisis because I went into this thinking this is real. Is that Kamala Harris on the wall? Is that Kamala? That's Kamala. That's Kamala Harris on the wall. What the? In Canada, it's -40. We're supposed to get at least a foot of snow tonight, and I couldn't even be bothered to grocery shop. Yeah. We did it. We did it, Joe. We did it. I see not much has changed since COVID. Listen, you need like if you had a freaking bidet, you need like a quarter of this. I am a bidet supremacist. I think bidets are common in Europe and Africa and I think in Asia as well. Bidets are awesome. I got one a year or two ago and it's been life-changing. Americans you got to get with the times. Come on. You got to get with the times. Saves you so much toilet paper. And just like the feeling psychologically as well. You just feel cleaner. Whenever I have to go and take a shit at work, I'm like, man, this is brutal. I can't believe I ever lived most of my life like this. Having to just over and over again. Like, ugh. Just give me a little moisture. Give me a little bath. Give me a little bath, please. I want to put a bidet in at work, but I don't think they're going to let me do that. I don't think they're going to let me do that. But maybe if I keep hounding about it, maybe they'll let me put a bidet in at work. But I am very pro bidet. I think every American should get one. They're cheap as shit too, and they're easy to install. They're like, you can get one for like $30, and they do wonders. They do wonders for you. You don't need this much toilet paper. You'll take like a quarter of this, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh shoot, I'm late. What's up, King of Sheba? We're just going through the storm of 26. You guys remember the winter of the blizzard of 26? Where were you in the blizzard of 26? I should get t-shirts and that say I survived the winter of 26, the blizzard of 26. You guys think people would buy that shit? I survived the blizzard of 26. Yes. Well, it depends on how bad it is. If it's really bad, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this shit. I want to get one of these. I survived the blizzard of 70. I remember who had this. Somebody had this shirt, like a shirt like this. Maybe it was my dad. I don't remember who it was. But I remember people seeing this growing up, like vividly. I survived the blizzard of 78. And I was always like, what the hell is even that? It became kind of, it was mythologized in my psyche from a young age. The blizzard of 78. Oh my gosh. My forefathers had it so rough. They had it so rough. All this shit, all this weak shit that I experienced is nothing. I survived the 60s twice. Yes, I should get that. Yeah, maybe I should have put this as the thumbnail. Kind of similar. We're kind of close to that. All right, we're kind of close to that. Except for the right, I should have done that face. So now we're delving in. It's about 8 o'clock. It's about 8 o'clock. It's about 8 o'clock. It's about schizoid hours, boys and girls. So now we're getting into MJ Truth Ultra. We're getting into the chemtrails. Is this all planned? Is this geoengineering? Is this cloud seeding? What is going on, right? So he says the East Coast is well, it's not just the East Coast, right? It's like most of America. It's like Southern. It is the East Coast, but it's also, I think, down in like Tennessee in that area as well. East Coast is due for a major snowstorm this weekend. He puts that in quotes, snowstorm. This is in Maryland and only one section of the sky. They have been spraying all week nonstop. How much does this contribute to weather events? How has your chemtrails been this week? I stupidly have not been paying attention to chemtrails. The 5G G0Y beams that are being emitted have completely decimated my mental faculties this week, and I have not been looking up in the sky. I've been looking down. I've been looking down as I walk because I'm in a lower beta state. So sadly, I have not seen the chemtrails. I don't know. Have you guys noticed the chemtrails? Have the chemtrails been excessive in Ohio? Anybody from Ohio here in chat? Have the chemtrails been excessive? Zero. This guy's speaking too much truth. The result of upper level atmospheric conditions and relative humidity had everything to do with it. In advance of a synoptic scale, low pressure zone. We don't care about that shit, dude. We don't care about this freaking science nerd crap. It's the government geoengineering cloud seeding, bro. Shut up, Dylan. You're a nerd. Oh, this guy, Ohio. Here we go. Damn, dude. Damn, dude. We're getting hit. We're getting hit hard, bro. If this is Ohio, we're fucked. We are being poisoned, yep. Charleston, South Carolina. Getting smacked. Outside of Philly. Shit. Yeah, North Carolina. That's a lot, buddy. You better buy so much toilet paper because you're going to be stuck inside all fucking month, dude. You're going to be stuck inside for all of February, dude. This is in Southwest Florida. I thought Florida, though, was pretty good, though. I thought it was pretty warm. It's pretty safe. Oh, Ohio. Shit. Shit, dude. We're going to get pummeled. Did you cover the Minnesota protests? I did not see that in time. I saw that there was just a recent shooting. It just happened earlier today, and by that time it was like all this shit was already pulled up, and I was like, okay, well, I could go through some of that. I mean, I guess we could make a detour and look at some of that. I mean, if the people want it, we could look at it and let me know, and I could skip something. But it's honestly, it's like it's the blue and gold dress, or what is it? The black and what was the dress? Remember the dress from the meme from years ago, where it's like whatever side politically you're on, you're gonna see that. Oh, they're in the right. Same with the Renee Good thing was the same exact thing. It was like, my guy's in the right. I am legal. I am safe, right? I am legal. You are jaywalking. I took your life. I am legal. I am safe. And then the other people are going to say this is oppression. This is fascism. This is tyranny. Like, yeah. Is this the start of the Civil War? Maybe we could, if it spirals into something else, spirals into something even greater, that would be interesting. But I don't know if it's just going to be limited to this one little altercation. It's just going to be your side, my side bullshit. And ultimately, I'll say this. Loss of life is tragic no matter what. And I think that if you're somebody who can't even see that somebody like even like when Charlie Kirk died and a lot of the people on the left were like Fortnite dancing on his grave, and, you know, memes aside, Kirkification aside, but people who are directly after that posting about, oh yeah, hell yeah, he deserves, like, these people are not serious people. They're not creators. They're demonically, I think, possessed is what they are. They're deluded. And that if you are somebody who has that much vitriol and that much willingness for violence in your heart, like, we don't really have to listen to you, and because you're just not a serious person. The end of the story. End of story. Now, in terms of the actual event, like, you know, and I spoke about this a little bit earlier too. It's like, why are we doing this? And I'm not saying that in a sense of that we don't need ICE, we don't need immigration enforcement, we don't need to, you know, get rid of illegals and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is that is the wall being built? I haven't heard anything about that in the second term. I haven't heard anything about the wall being built. So all these attempts at kicking people out, to me, look like it's just for show. So when you're sitting here, people are sitting here saying, oh, we're winning, my guy's winning, my side's winning, we're kicking out the illegal immigrants. All I see is, okay, this is a temporary Band-Aid to a larger problem. And when a Democrat comes in, when another Joe Biden comes in, people are just going to walk right across the border again. And we're going to be back to square one. All this is just it seems to me it's just all for show. It's this performative cruelty, this like weird, like, we're doing something, guys. Hey guys, ICE is doing something. And we're all like, okay, yeah, they're out there fumbling around shooting US citizens. And then at the end of the day, it's like, you know, how many people have you deported? Oh, like, what? How many is it? Under 1 million? How many people were let in during Obama or Biden? Like, what were they say? Like 10 million people? Like crazy numbers. We're barely scratching the surface of this. We're not building the wall. We're not actually putting a permanent solution in, and we're just causing more strife and division and death. And it's like, to me, this just seems very shoddy. It seems very stupid, mismanaged, and it's just going to cause more problems. I did see that there was a big march going on. There's like 100,000 people marching in Minneapolis. It's like, what is that? That's going to do? Well, that's going to cause a flashpoint event of some sort. And it's like it just seems like it's all for naught. It's just for show. That's what it seems like to me. But I haven't kept that close of attention on it. Crowd was huge. They were lucky it is so cold. Yeah. They're lucky they're spraying shit in the air. We're lucky they're spraying shit in the air to make it snow so they all disperse and get the fuck out of there. No, that was wrong. What was wrong? I'm just talking about my general view of it. Like, it just seems like this is all just a waste of time. And it's like they were coming and going back. And what they called them was returns and return again. Who, the immigrants? Who are we talking about here? They were coming and going back. What they called them was returns and return again. I don't know what you're talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just think this just feels like ridiculously shoddy, unorganized. These people going out there, going into these communities, and it's like, yeah, no shit, you're gonna have pushback. Like, yeah, I think that you're going to have pushback, not only of the people, the immigrants, but also their neighbors, the Democrats, right? Like, of course, you're going to have people who are going to say, screw you. This on its face looks like some sort of Gestapo, right? Like, and it's just like, it's just a recipe for a disaster when something like building the wall, which we had funds allocated for in the big, beautiful bill, which is that happening, is what I want to say, is like, is that even happening? I don't hear anybody talking about it. I feel like this would be border wall construction is actively happening. Okay. Focusing on building new barriers, reinforcing old ones, and adding technology like cameras and lighting. With recent major contracts and activity. Okay. Well, if they focus on smart walls, this was the thing. This is what I saw, was that they were allocating a lot of this money to the AI companies to build cameras and sensors and AI devices to basically track people. Detection technology. That was the major thing I saw, was that they allocated a lot to like Anduril and Palantir and whatnot. Funding comes from various, okay. In essence, the wall is being built incrementally, but with a significant push for a comprehensive technologically advanced border system. That's the thing. Dude, why do we even just get a barrier up? I don't understand. Get a barrier up. Something that can't just be removed overnight. If you just put up cameras and AI detection, that can just be weaponized in the next administration. That can be turned off. Like, what? But I think the fact of the matter is that they like this. They like immigration. They like the wall. They like the border being a problem that people vote for and people freak out about. I don't think they actually, plus they also funnel drugs and guns and stuff that also, it's, I mean, the cartels and the CIA have known to, do business with each other. So that's also another element. But it just seems to me like this is just, it's more of a like, it's more of like a manufactured Flashpoint event. That's what they want to do. They want to make another George Floyd. And they're getting one. They're getting one. It's like, yeah. And then it's going to embolden the left, which it already has. And that's that. And we're gonna get the brute of the people who are the right wingers, right? They're gonna get the boot whenever a Democrat comes in office. You're gonna be seen as kind of like you're like a violent, like it's like you're ratcheting it up. You're ratcheting it up. You're putting forth ICE, this kind of these people to go into these communities to go and do this, which is like, again, it's like you have the will of the people. They're breaking the law. Like, I understand that, but like you're ratcheting up to a degree, and I understand that, but they're seeing it as, well, we need to like ante up. We need to ratchet it up. And it's being done in such a shoddy bullshit way that doesn't even actually solve any of the problems, that I think it's just going to turn around to bite people in the ass. Tim Dillon said, right? He said performative cruelty, right? I think that's true. With a lot of this administration is just like doing nothing but the will of Israel and the New World Order. And all this stuff, all the base stuff is just like performative. It's performative cruelty. If they can make snowstorms on demand, why not do it for Christmas? Right. Shit, man. Come on. They hate you. They hate you. That's why. All right. That was like a general take on the ice stuff. Again, I haven't been following it super closely, but that's just my cursory glance at it. That's just what I see, is that this is just going to be activating people in ways, people on the left in ways that we have never seen before. And I think that this is just gonna, it does seem as though there is this kind of philosophy of acceleration, of ramping it up, right? We want to get things further and further and further along, so much so that we create some sort of chaos event, a civil war. I don't know what it is, that we can respond with order. Order, what is it? Ordo ab chaos, right? Like from chaos, order. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, why is it Minneapolis too? Again, the same exact, we're doing it again, boys. 2026. Let's go, Minneapolis. I've heard there are deportations in red states too. I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, there probably are. I mean, I'm just saying that, like, do you not see that it seems very, this seems kind of shoddy and kind of mismanaged? Like, that's how I see it, is like, okay, the shooting of Renee Good just seemed very like, oh, that's great. Like, okay, that's great. Like, I don't even, look, I don't, this lady, I don't know who she is, but it's just like, okay, our whole goal here is for law and order. It's to secure, you know, get rid of the illegal immigrants, to bring back unity, bring back a sense of, you know, this kind of national sovereignty, and get rid of the immigrant invasion for this kind of ultimate virtue, this ultimate good. But then it's like, if we're going to be like shooting people in the face, it's like, okay, I feel like this is kind of missing the point. I feel like this is causing more strife, but what do I know? I feel like there's better ways to go about this. All right, let's move along. We got this lady, U.S. Air Force, talking about the chemtrails. She had a kooky, she seems like she's probably a Candace watcher. Your local Candace watcher is on the case.
I don't think it's any coincidence that just before this historic ice storm is about to hit the United States Air Force has been flying some super strange flight patterns. This is not normal. This is not normal. This is not normal. These planes are the KC-135 Stratotanker, a military aircraft that's primarily used for aerial refueling. But it can also be used for geoengineering, also known as weather modification. The Stratotanker can do stratospheric aerial injection, which involves releasing
this lady looks
reflective
crazy
particles into the atmosphere to cool the planet. This is no coincidence that this is all happening just before this giant ice storm is about to hit the entire United States.
This is all the produce, the chemtrail produce of USAF Stratotankers flying in circles in patterns.
Yeah, she looks credible. She looks credible. AI, I don't know. You know, why do you guys got to hit me with that? You guys got to hit me with the AI after every video. Shit. Your guess is as good as mine. Damn. The crazy thing is, like, I don't, you know, people get, this is the thing. Okay. This is the thing with the conspiracy shit, is that I think there is semblances of truth to these things, right? Like, as we've seen that Augustus Dorico guy, the Rainmaker guy, when I remember those Texas floods last year, that it was just unprecedented, the amount of rain they had down there. It raised up these rivers. It ended up killing like 70 people, like a crazy amount. And we come to find out this Augustus Dorico Rainmaker guy was seeding clouds like 2 miles south of where that happened. And he goes, no. Hey guys, no, that was not us. He went on the media circuit tour, and he went on, and he said, that wasn't us. The clouds they were fully dispersed by then. It was not us. And it's like, you even have a guy who's admitting to cloud seeding. The government has admitted to cloud seeding and weather modification since Vietnam. And so there is like some element of truth to this, where I understand that, like, yeah, like spraying shit in the air can produce certain weather patterns that they want. But then you get people who go outside and they just like take pictures of their backyard and they're like, yup, I knew it. See, it's all there. And you go, maybe that's it. It's so like people just like, they take that, which is true and verifiable, and that actually happens, and it makes sense. But then they run with it and they say, well, then it has to be the case that a big storm like this, well, that has to be the case that the government's like cloud seeding or some geoengineering and they're causing it. And we got this lady here, this beautiful black queen here coming out talking about the weather.
Not to be a conspiracy theorist or nothing, but did y'all?
No, go ahead. Let's hear it. It's Schizoid Hours. Let's see it.
The economy was down, and then next thing you know, we was having a mystery winter storm, and everybody had to hurry up and go to the store and buy a bunch of groceries real fast and spend up all the money that they didn't really have to stimulate the economy. Right after the stock market had crashed, then next thing you know,
she's watching TV.
Was supposed to be further south, and so they had everybody in the.
She is literally watching TV as she's talking about that. Look at her. She's literally watching TV. Hey, you guys remember like the stock market was like really far down, and they
thing you know, inconveniently the storm was supposed to be further south, and so they had everybody in the southern parts of Tennessee and everyone buying up everything, and then the storm suddenly moved further north, and so they had everybody north buying stuff, and it's just a coincidence that they was complaining about how nobody was spending money, and then that the stock market had crashed and everything, and then next thing you know, we was having a winter storm, and then everybody had to buy up everything, and all the groceries had sold out, and everybody spent all their money up on a bunch of stuff to prepare for a storm coming. Isn't that funny? I mean, I don't believe in conspiracy theories or anything. I'm just saying, I just thought that was just so funny.
Your average Candace viewer, sir. Wait a minute. Wait. You're telling me that they said that nobody was spending money for this Christmas holiday season. I must have missed that memo because I didn't see that at all. But what the hell? I'm not tapped in like she is, right? But you're saying that because that they said that people weren't spending enough money for Christmas, we have to cause a winter storm so people rush to the stores to buy a bunch of shit. But aren't businesses and things like that? I mean, I have family down in Tennessee. They're talking about they're saying they're calling off work. They're closing their stores. They're closing their places of business because of this. Isn't that going to cause the economy more of a loss of revenue than the general flitty attitudes of the public running to the store and buying a handful of things? Isn't shutting down a whole? I mean, isn't the amount of the amount of revenue lost for a snowstorm to happen? People aren't going out. People aren't generating revenue in the economy. People aren't putting their money. You're closing down your business. Wouldn't that be a loss as well? Wouldn't that be a great loss? Would that be more than? I think it would probably be more than what these people are buying at the store. But what do I know? Because how can you bank on that? You're going to bank on the whims of the individual being freaked out about a snowstorm, running to the store, buying up the store, buying up. What if they only buy one or two things? What if they go, oh my gosh, you're right, I got to go get toilet paper and milk, but they only buy one toilet paper, one milk, which is just like the average amount a person buys. But then, you know, oh, the snowstorm comes and the store has to close down completely. It's like, wait, that's losing even more money. Like, what? I feel like, like if anything, you're like breaking even. You're like, what? You're not a woman. That's true. I'm not a woman. I'm not a Candace enjoyer. I'm not a woman. Look, I love Candace. I love my black queens. But I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell this shit is. I don't even know what is it? Flight Radar 24 hours. So this shows like live flight data of of planes that are out and about. Giving people access to this shit has been detrimental. The FlightRadar24.com and its consequences have been a disaster for the female race. For the Candace race. I mean, what is it? This could be anything. And they're like, look at this. Look at this, guys. Well, what the hell? I don't know what's going on here, but you don't either. But you want to make this, you want to say this is what it is. This is where the storm is. They're cloud seeding here. Okay. If you say so, I believe you fully, wholeheartedly, whatever you say. I didn't stock up on it. Right. That's what I said. It's like the flitty nature of people like to go out and you're going to bank on people being scared to go and buy up a bunch of shit. Like maybe I feel like it would just be better just to not have the storm. If you caused it, not have the storm and just have people keep the lights on. Okay. Generate revenue a different way. Oh, come on. They did this when we had the really big storm in 2022. They do it for pretty much every hurricane too. Storms like these are every few years, and there's always people caught unprepared. People really need to come up with better conspiracy theories. Low key. Again, they would have, you know, the cloud seeding, the chemtrail thing. Hey, there might be some truth to that, but tying it to this, that's where I don't know, man. Stock market didn't crash. Right. She said that. And I was like, what? I have not heard that at all. Snowstorms aren't made up. No, you didn't need to go buy 2 weeks worth of groceries. People cleaning grocery stores out right now is wild. Yep. If you can't survive 2 days stuck in your house, you got bigger problems than what's on or not on the shelves at the grocery store. For real. There have been weather wars going on with the West against the East for decades. The U.S. was self-admittedly using weather manipulation during the Vietnam War, right? That's what I said, yep. Remember the massive floods in Dubai not that long ago with talk of it being because of its own government, cloud seeding. Why wouldn't the government use it on its own citizens? Why wouldn't any government? I thought I was the only one thinking this way. It's not like it can't happen, right? It is happening. Oh my gosh. It is 8 o'clock hour, boys. We can get schizo. We can get as schizo as we want. Is it happening? Are the chemtrails happening? Are they causing this? All right, we're going to move along. Enough of the chemtrails. This is your brain on crack, right? Is she a crack user? Maybe. There's a clip from the WEF, the Davos World Economic Forum Summit. If you guys haven't seen that, there's like a shit ton that happened there. There's a shit ton of conversations, and it's where all the world leaders go to. Happens yearly. Larry Fink is now the co-chair of the WEF. Klaus Schwab is out, although he still has a point of authority in some sense because he's coming out with all these videos about what we need to do for the future. I don't really know. I don't really understand it, but Larry Fink's been running it. This was his first WEF. And so we had a surprise guest of Elon Musk. Apparently, I don't even think he was supposed to talk at this event, but he showed up there. Trump was there. Trump gave a long speech. I listened to it, and it was honestly just, it was mid, and it didn't, honestly, you can see his age on him very much so more recently than usual. But a lot of it was just talking about Greenland and wanting to acquire Greenland and how we need a little peace. We need a piece of Greenland for national security and whatnot. And Denmark's not, all of the MAGA people went up there and basically just gave the same spiel. Who is Howard Lutnick was there. He gave a whole spiel about Greenland. And apparently they got some sort of deal worked out. I think I saw that. Let me make sure. Did they get some sort of deal? I thought I saw some. Trump signals deal, rolls back tariff threats. Trump says he has a framework for Greenland deal as NATO molds the idea. I thought, okay, he said he had a framework deal worked out. U.S. officials say they want to ensure access to Greenland will last forever and for infinity, ooh, and beyond. Multiple reports say the framework does not include Greenland becoming part of the U.S. So is it not? I guess it's not been finalized, but I don't really know. This whole thing is just like, when we talked about this last week, it's like, I don't care. But this is something that's super important to the technocrats to buy Greenland, to get Greenland, and probably more of Central America and Venezuela. As we went over last week, that video will be up though, where I talked about that. The technocracy study course, that was the cover of it, was to create this kind of American technate that included Greenland and Venezuela. So I don't really know if that's happening or that's falling through or what, but that was like mostly what they talked about at the World Economic Forum. And then Trump also kind of showed his like board of peace or whatever this thing is. Like, it's kind of like a rival to the UN, but let's check this out. Let's check this Elon Musk clip out.
And actually my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. Like there will be such an abundance of goods and services because my prediction is there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect,
What?
But I mean, it is a
right there.
Necessary,
whatever.
Like you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all. Because if it's work that has to be done, then you and only some people can do it, then you can't have abundance.
Then
for
it's
all.
narrow.
It's narrow, yeah. Exactly. So, but if you have billions of humanoid robots, and I think there will be, I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one, because who wouldn't want a robot to, assuming it's very safe, watch over your kids, take care of your pet. If you have elderly parents, a lot of friends of mine have said they have elderly parents. It's very difficult to take care of them.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and there just aren't enough people to take care of there aren't enough young people to take care of the old people.
Right.
So if they if you had a robot that could take care of and protect an elderly parent, I think that would be great. That would be an amazing thing to have. I think we will have those things. So, I mean, overall, I'm very optimistic about the future. I think we're headed for a future of amazing abundance, which is very cool. And definitely, we are in the most interesting time in history. I think there's a more interesting time in history.
That might be true, honestly. I do feel like we're living in interesting times for sure. You know, there's something about it. Like he was saying, well, you're gonna have a robot who's gonna take care of your kids and take care of your grandparents and things like that. And it's like, you know, we kind of had this figured out. You know, there was kind of a time when there was like natural kind of solutions to this, where you had you had your mother would take care of this, where you had, okay, it's like you had the natural progression of the kids would take care of the parents, and the parents would take care of the grandparents, and you had this kind of naturally occurring social communal element to this. But it's not until you inject these technologies and you kind of extrapolate and create this kind of international global market system, which is essentially what these people have made their fortune off of, and essentially what these people advocate for. Globalism, that's what globalism is, right? These global markets, these kind of removing the roots of communities, removing the roots of the social order, atomizing the individual, saying, okay, the individuals you're all by yourself. You don't care. We don't care about family. We don't care about communal living. We don't care about any of the social order. None of that shit matters anymore. Through these social technologies like feminism, or even like atheism, things like this. That's basically have been an attack of the family unit, which is the communal living, which is bound up in the Christian ideology, Christian religion. Well, we got rid of all that. We've atomized the individual. The individual has no ability to survive on their own because we are social creatures by nature, and we need other people to rely on. Like he's saying, oh, I get old, I need my children to rely on me. Well, I don't have a wife. I never had kids. I'm by myself. What do you need to rely on? You need to rely on the market. You need to rely on the capitalist market to survive. I need to go out and pay someone to take care of me when I'm 90 years old because I'm too old to do anything. And it's been constant attack, constant upheaval, constant injecting of technological advancements that have caused people to adopt the more, it's like kind of the liberal, right? Capitalism is in tandem with liberalism, with being, and I'm not saying that in politically like libtards, but I'm saying liberalism, freedom, you the individual, you have the power. You do not have to be beholden to any external forces. You have the autonomy and the power to do whatever you want. And there's some truth to that. I think there is some truth to that, to where, an oppressive authoritarian government forcing you to do things. Yeah, that's obviously wrong. I think there is room for autonomy of the individual, of course. But you also needed that room of the community, of the collective, to take care of the individual, because the individual can't survive by itself. So you have this kind of give and take, this kind of breathing, these two lungs, right? And that was with liberalism. Again, like I said, there's such an emphasis on the individual and liberating them from any of that collectivism and all that stuff, which, now we're seeing that it's coming back in full force with technocracy and socialism. But liberating the individual of any circumstance that they do not rightfully choose to be in, well, then you have to have this kind of secondary philosophy, which is the capitalist market, to fill that in, to fill that gap. Well, when they can't do the thing by themselves, we need to have somebody there who can, and that's where you get markets from. That's where you get money from. That's where you get people who are atomized and attached to this system. And then now we're taking it one step further, and we're going to say, well, Why don't we just solve the problem of the individual relying on other individuals and just say you're going to have a robot take care of you? Screw your family. Screw even the nursing home. It's too expensive. We're going to just have a robot who's going to watch after you. That's how far we've gotten with this. Capitalism is it's not just an economic system, right? Capitalism is not just an economic system. It's a philosophy. And you see this in a lot of people's lives where they don't really care about they don't care about the methods or what they're doing in the moment, the actions they're doing. They don't ascribe a kind of moral, foundation to what they're doing. They don't give some value to what they're doing, whether it's good or bad. They just do. They just act. And then afterwards, they say, well, if that was a problem, consequential, right? Consequentialism. If that's a problem, then I should go to the market to solve that problem. If this is whatever this is, I need to liberate myself from this thing. Whatever I've done, whatever action I've committed, whereas religion says just don't commit the action, right? Whereas something like Christianity just says we just don't do these things. I don't care how many statistics, how much science, how many tests you've done. You just don't do these things because it could end up you being in ruin. And we would rather just nip that in the bud. No, capitalism says you can do that thing, and then the after effects of that will then be, whether it's good or bad, whether it actually results in downfall, that will be solved by the market. Any of the downsides of life, any of the downsides of, and that's even seeped into our biology and our humanity. It's like any of the downsides of reality that we exist in, things that are kind of fixed in our reality, right? Something even like they talk about transhumanism, death, right? Even something as fixed as death. It's like, can we overcome this? Is this something we have to be beholden to? And in some sense, I think we are. We do have to be beholden to that. I just think that's part of the nature of humanity, I don't know. Greetings, J Money. What's up, Alexandra? Hope everyone is sheltering from whatever apocalyptic snow event they are predicting. Yeah. We already talked about the atom bomb. Not atom bomb. Wow, I just read that in chat. We already talked about the snow and the blizzard and the chemtrails. Did you notice the chemtrails, Alexandra? It's Schizo Hour. Did you see chemtrails? Wherever you are, did you see any chemtrails? The government is creating this. They're creating this snowstorm. They're hyping the snowstorm up so people go and energize the market because markets are down because people didn't spend during Christmas. I was never convinced by the chemtrail thing. Yeah, I think we went over this already, but I said I think there is some truth to the geoengineering, weather modification, and cloud seeding. I mean, that's already been admitted. We went through that Rainmaker months ago with the floods down in Texas, and they've admitted that with Vietnam that they've do weather modification. But people take it one step too far, I think, and that's what like all conspiracies is. They take it to the umpteenth degree to tell us, oh, you know what? All these crazy things are happening. This is, well, if it's a big snowstorm, then it must be the case that it's weather modification. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just a snowstorm. Weather does happen, right? That's just tough. That's the tough part about it is that, you can even look at even just like world events too. It's like, sometimes events do just happen, but people always want to say it's kooky. It's all controlled. And I think there is more of that than meets the eye. I think that's true. I think there's way more. Like you might think that only this much is this is true and this is what they're telling us, but actually it's this much. But then the conspiracy people have to go like all the way up here, right? And they're like, no, it's all the way up here. And you go, nah, you got to bring that back down a little bit, and then maybe you are onto something. That's kind of what Candace is doing, is where she's taking the Charlie Kirk thing, where I think that there is truth to what she's saying, where she's onto that the Charlie Kirk thing wasn't what they told us. There's a little more to it, but then she's taking it to the umpteenth degree and saying, I don't even know whatever she's on now, Sumerian, Egyptian, beekeeper. I don't even know. Kooky Candace. Like, let's reel it back in a little. Where's George? Where is George? Reel it in a little bit, lady. Yeah, trying to blame the government for every weather event is giving them way too much credit. Well, we're about to see here in a minute is that there is one conspiracy that people have been talking about for a long time that it was admitted by Donald Trump just yesterday. So we're going to get into that right after this. So let's move on to the next thing. During Davos, during the World Economic Forum, Trump also unveiled his Board of Peace. We got Kim Iverson here. She's going to talk about a little bit of how this is she believes this is the NWO in the making. Now, the Board of Peace, it seems like to me, with a lot of the rhetoric they've used against the UN, a lot of the vitriol they've been spitting against Europe and the EU and all these kinds of, steering committees that exist in Europe. I believe that they are trying, Trump and MAGA and all these people are trying to create their own a kind of auxiliary, secondary steering committee, world global order with the U.S. at the helm, where we're not doing this crap where we have to talk to NATO, we have to talk to the UN, we have to talk to, screw that. We're not going to be subservient to these groups. We are going to be the monarchy of the world. We're going to be the king of the world. And I think that's what this Board of Peace, he's asking, he's trying to get people in. I think you have like a buy-in, you have like $1 billion buy-in, and he's already gotten, I think, Qatar, Egypt, I think Albania, like Belarus, like a lot of these, lesser, I don't want to say lesser, like, and that I don't want to be, cause any hurt feeling, but these smaller countries, Qatar, yeah, it was one of them. He's getting these involved. They've signed up, but also Israel has signed up. And apparently he even asked Putin and Russia if they would be willing to sign up, but he said he would only do it. Putin would only do it, and he would only sign up for the Board of Peace if he could use and pay for it with funds that were frozen by the West right after the Ukraine invasion. So that's a little funny little jab there. Maybe they'll do it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I guess maybe Trump will do it if he agrees to some deal. Okay, fine. You will unfreeze your funds. You can come into the Board of Peace, and we'll be this global hegemon with Russia and the U.S. Running it, right, leading it. So we got Kim Iverson here. She's going to talk a little bit about the NWO and the World Economic Forum and the Board of Peace.
Trump is creating a new style of governance. Trump is creating a new style of governance the world has never seen. Donald Trump unveiled his Board of Peace. At the same time, Jared Kushner unveiled a new Gaza plan for rebuilding the Gaza Strip. Rather than the people governing themselves through the ballot box, like with a democracy, or even rather than a monarchy or a dictator, this is a new style of governance that is being rolled out, where essentially investors are going to build up territories, build up countries, build up nations, and they will control them. It would be run by, rather than presidents and prime ministers, sovereign CEOs. This is much more sinister, and let me explain. It starts off with Kushner's new Gaza plan. I think they've chosen Gaza because they knew they could bomb the heck out of it to raise the entire place so that they could clear all the rubble, build something brand new, and try out this new style of world domination. And we know this because the Board of Peace is not, even though it was supposed to be created for Gaza, it's not in their charter. Gaza's not mentioned. It's for any and all territories that they can essentially get their hands on to do this exact same project. Gaza is just the prototype. Now let's first listen to Jared Kushner talking about the new Gaza plan.
We want to encourage all the countries to be able to follow these best practices. What the Board of Peace will have the ability to do if we're successful with Gaza is really show how do you do peace implementation. As we're creating this system, we can just document these learnings and make them available to all else who want to use them in the future.
Very specifically, Jared Kushner is talking about investors redesigning a strip of land whose people still do not control their borders, their politics, or their security. They will not be in charge.
There'll be amazing investment opportunities.
The charter for the Board of Peace actually gives Trump ultimate decision-making power with the ability to act on the board's behalf without needing full board consent, essentially making him a king of a territory. That is essentially what this is. And the thing about the Board of Peace is that it's not limited to Gaza. When they started Board of Peace, they said, oh, this is for the rebuilding of Gaza. But then they wrote the charter and they unveiled unveiled the charter, and it turned out, wait a minute, this isn't limited to Gaza. This is for any and all areas of the world that you believe there's a conflict, and you're going to go in there with investor money and rebuild these areas, and the investors will actually be in charge. The governance will be by the investors who have a board, a chairman of the board who's ultimately the overseer of this, not the people. They want that for all of us. This is a way for the investors to start ruling the world.
It's big business and the government and Big Brother, right? Coming together to then rebuild the world in their image. And I think this is absolutely what they've been talking about and signaling with Gaza, is they want to rebuild it. Whether they say, I want to build, Trump says he wants to put a Trump Tower in Gaza. He wants to make a metropolis, right? A smart city, a network state, a freedom city. They talk about this. The technocrats talk about this all the time. Sam Altman is investing in what was it, Praxis in Greenland. He wants to create a freedom city where he's basically the king of the city. They are the big business. These billionaires want to create these network states, GovCorp, as Curtis Yarvin calls it, where they are the monarchs, they are the kings of these territories. And we've already seen, I talked about it months ago, Ukraine is being bought out by BlackRock. BlackRock is ran by Larry Fink. Larry Fink, now the head of the WEF. He's BlackRock. Larry Fink is totally on board with this type of shit. Oh yeah, we'll bring investors in. They will be the CEO, GovCorp king of any of these conflicts, any of this stuff, out of the chaos of the conflicts that largely we've created and allowed, because October 7th, like with Gaza, they basically allowed that to happen so they could then flatten Gaza and then bring in investments, and will allow a new CEO king to run. We'll allow them to take over. I think this is the method. This is the method with, I think they want to do with the whole world. Is that they want to, in order to get these countries, these nations on board with the future. This is the future. Come on, people. Come on, get with it. This is the future. This is the NWO. This is the creation of the governing body that's going to run the world. That's what the Board of Peace is. And we got to get these people on board. We got to somehow get out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old, in with the right. Right? And their ideas are like, out with that bullshit. We don't care about ideology. We don't care about your religion, your community, your culture, the people, your family. Screw that shit. Get rid of all this stuff. Create a war, create conflict, create strife and division, so we can then come in the aftermath, and we can rebuild it the way we see it in our image, with these smart freedom cities run by the CEO, technocrat kings. Dollar General CEO gets to run the USA. Oh, no. Who even is the CEO of Dollar General? I love Dollar General. Todd Vassos. That guy? Oh, hang on. That guy? I trust him with my life. Sir, I give you my allegiance to King Vassos of the Dollar General Empire. No way, dude. Never. I like shopping there, but no, man. You're going to be ruling over me. You're going to be running me. You're going to be creating the laws. Whatever happened to the kind of, the split between private and public? Whatever happened to that? Is that a thing? Do we have that anymore? No, it's all just intertwined. And none of it matters anymore. Now we're you know what? The $1 billion oligarchs, they're just going to run your shit. I guess they're already running my shit. When you say they'll be ruled by CEOs, you mean bankers. And when you say bankers, do you mean Jays? Is this not just an extension of Zionism powered by central banking protected by the U.S. military at the behest of Netanyahu and the Jays? Yeah, but I mean, there's even, you know, Muslims like Qatar and Egypt and whatnot are getting on board with the Board of Peace as well. It has a Zionist flavor to it, absolutely, but it's not just Jays who are into it. You know, that's the thing that people, I feel like they get wrong, is that like, it's not just the J, it's also people who are adjacent to that too, right? It's the Shabbos goys, right, as I call them. It's other people who are totally sold out and they don't care. They just want a piece of it. They want a piece of the future. Peter Thiel's not a Jewish. You know, he's not. Not as far as we know, he's not. What a joke, honestly. Yeah, and
Trump is creating a new style.
He unveiled that, and something tells me Russia will be a part of this, and that they're okay with bringing BlackRock investment into Ukraine after the war is said and done. I think there's going to be some deal that's going to be made, and I think Russia's going to get what they want out of it, or largely get what they want. I mean, maybe there'll be more of a middle ground, but I think they're going to get generally what they want, and then BlackRock will come in to rebuild Ukraine. I think rich people think everyone else wants their life. I don't even know. I honestly don't know. I have no idea what even goes through the minds of these people. I just think that like somebody like Elon Musk, it's like, I think these people get to a point where, you know, you as a kind of middle class or lower class person, like you're chasing something, you're striving, you're surviving, you're trying to get to a certain point in your life where you don't have to worry about XYZ. But like these people are way past that. They have everything they ever wanted. And I think that when you get to that point, it's like, well, what do you do next? It's like, well, I have $700 billion in the bank, not literally, but you know what I mean, in net worth. And it's like, well, at that point, well, the next move is like, let's just start creating the world in my image. Let's just start. Why not? That's what the Rockefellers did, right? That's what the Rothschilds did. That's what we're living in right now. You just create these institutions, you create these committees, you create these NGOs, these think tanks, and you steer the world in the image that you want to see. And this is what the WEF is. Okay, we're moving on. That was just a little bit. You know, there's a lot more to the WEF. I would say please go check it out for yourself. Alex Karp had a decent segment with Larry Fink is basically interviewing these people. Alex Karp had a good segment. Howard Lutnick had a good speech or whatever. You know, he's based. People are like, oh, he's based. And he's, you know, a lot of these people are starting to mirror back a lot of the anti-globalist talking points to us. Well, we need to focus on national sovereignty and focus on, you know, it's like they're starting to parrot back these things to us, but I don't buy it. You know, I don't buy it. I think that like you people are the ones who are you created the immigrant crisis. You created mass immigration. You created all these globalistic policies. And then now you're saying, well, actually, you know what? You know, Larry Fink came out and said this, the countries that are more xenophobic, he said that the countries that are more xenophobic and have a lowering birth rate are going to be set up better in the future for automation and AI. Well, like, no shit. Less people, the more holes there are to fill for automation. Like, no shit. But it's just like, it's just interesting that these people are starting to come around to the more national sovereignty aspect to it. Even Klaus Schwab is starting to say that, oh, this is not the view of the future is not what we had before. So now they're creating a new, different vision for the future. And the WEF of 2025 was their title for that meeting of Davos was rebuilding trust, right? We need to rebuild trust. People don't trust the elite, the oligarchs anymore. We got to rebuild trust. And I think that like, it's like, no, nobody trusts you because you guys are the ones who are steering society in these directions. Even in something like the wake of Gaza being flattened, you're ready to jump on that for investment and create this kind of, CEO monarch. And you're like, dude, like, what is this shit, right? It's like, yeah, no shit, people don't trust you. But then now they're just parroting back these base talking points to us. Oh, or not even base. I mean, they're like, it's more based in like global homo liberal internationalism, I guess. But it's just like, I just don't. People need to just be cautious of this stuff. But there's a lot of good interviews in there, and there's a lot of interesting figures who gave speeches. So I would check that out further. I thought about doing a whole stream on it, but it's just a lot. And a lot of the stuff that they posted was like 30, 40, 50 minutes, right? Like an hour long. And that's just we don't have time for that on the Saturday stream. Maybe we'll go through some of them, Alex Karp's interview or Elon Musk's interview, maybe if I ever get around to doing a freaking weekly stream, if I ever man up and do a weekly stream, maybe we'll talk about that. Can we talk about the Federal Reserve? You can talk about whatever you want, Marie. We can absolutely talk about the Federal Reserve and how the U.S. currency is based on nothing, and money printing is basically slashing the value of your investments every 10 years or so. We're going to talk about the GOYBEAMS now. We're going to get on the GOYBEAMS. I'm going to hit the restroom though. I have to go hit the little girl's room. It's about 9 o'clock. We're going to extend here. Listen, guys, listen, we're going to extend Schizo Hours another hour. Schizo Hours are extended on this blizzard, is that a word? On this blizzard of an evening. We're going to extend it out to 10 o'clock. We're going to talk about GOYBEAMS here. It's going to be interesting. I was surprised that this was even a thing. I'm excited. Very good. Okay. Well, I'm going to hit the little girl's room. I'm going to go TT, hit the little girl's room, and we'll be right back. We're going to get into the GOYBEAMS. This is maybe one of the reasons why I felt so sluggish the last, basically since 2026 started. Maybe they're shooting these GOYBEAMS directly into my house. There is a van parked outside on the corner, and I always look at it and I go, that would be the perfect spot. That would be the perfect spot for the Zionist enclave, the Zionist freaks to shoot their GOYBEAM right into my head and make me a lazy fool. I'll have to put the metallic hat on. Maybe that'll help me. Maybe it'll make me feel a little more energized. The world is blustery. Yes. The word is blustery. That's what it is. Okay. This blustery evening. Very good. But yes, we will be right back. Don't nobody go nowhere. We're going to talk about the GOYBEAMS. And we have then also the Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, Andrew Tate, Miami fiasco that will round out the evening, and that will be that. So I'll be right back. Don't nobody go nowhere. Tinfoil hat. Yeah, that's what I need. I need a tinfoil hat. Yep. Okay, we're back. It has not started snowing yet in my neck of the woods, which is surprising because I thought it was supposed to start now. Saturday night, right? Let's take a look. Okay, maybe it's not supposed to start till early in the morning. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 10 a.m. 7 to 13 inches. Okay, so it's supposed to start like 1, 2, 3 a.m. It's supposed to start. Okay, well, okay, so I'm not going to see any tonight. We already have ground cover? Really? You're further north than me. Where are you at? How do you know where I am? You don't know where I am. Probably till Monday, yeah. Well, we're waiting on it. I hope everybody's cozy. I saw King of Sheba in chat said he was so cozy we would never even comprehend how cozy he is. Well, I'm glad you're cozy. I'm pretty cozy. I've got my thermal on under this. I got my hoodie on, my hat on. We're feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty good on a Saturday. But anyways, let's get into this. It's schizo hours. We're extending out schizoid hours till 10 o'clock. You can give me your schizoid takes. We're going to talk about GOYBEAMS. They admitted it. You gave away your address, didn't you? Or was that fake? That was fake. That was a joke. 128 West 81st Street. Apartment 6D. New York City. I know, I got stalkers apparently. Shit, dude. Anyways. So back in the beginning of the month, which just feels crazy that the Venezuela shit happened like 20 days ago. It feels like it was so much longer. Is it just me, or feels like it was so much longer that happened? But after the Venezuela regime change, whatever you want to call it, raid, I don't even know. The New York Post posted this on X. They said the U.S. used powerful sonic weapons that brought Venezuelan soldiers to their knees during Maduro raid. Witness account. Now, nobody else said this. And you even had people like Richard Hanania who are on X saying this is unsubstantiated. This is ridiculous. Why are they posting this? But like even I think he might have replied in here. I thought I saw his reply in here somewhere. Yeah, right here. Where is the link to the original interview? You present no evidence this exists. This is on January 10th. And I saw this and I was like, okay, what is this? You know, like nobody else really talked about it. There's no link. It just seemed very like, it just seemed like a tabloid bullshit, whatever, throwaway. But then yesterday, you had the Department of War verified account. Is this this is verified, right? This is affiliated, right? Yeah, it's affiliated with the Department of War, verified on X. Yesterday, you had the Department of War saying that they have directed energy weapons. Light speed lethality, direct energy dominant. You have people in the comments saying, oh, so the G0Y beams are real. You know, it's kind of a meme. Marjorie Taylor Greene a couple years ago saying that, oh, they have Jewish space lasers. She got a lot of trouble for that. But they're coming out and saying, no, actually, that is the case. We have directed energy weapons. Toomer here say, can you use them on my mother-in-law's house? And even President Trump came out and said, from AF Post, we have President Trump revealed that a secret weapon nicknamed the discombobulator was crucial to the U.S. raid that captured Nicolas Maduro. The discombobulator made the enemy equipment not work, Trump said. We have a post here by the New York Times. No, I'm sorry. We have a post here by the New York Post. We have a post here by the New York Post where he says, Trump boasted that the mysterious weapon, quote, made enemy equipment not work. When U.S. helicopters swooped into Caracas on January 3rd to arrest Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, on federal drug and weapons charges without losing a single American life. The discombobulator, I'm not allowed to talk about it, Trump said during an exclusive interview in the Oval Office. I would love to, the president added before confirming its use in the stealth operation. They never got their rockets off. They had Russian and Chinese rockets, and they never got one off. We came in, they pressed buttons, and nothing worked. They were all set for us. Trump commented on the weapon when asked about reports this week that the Biden administration purchased a pulsed energy weapon suspected of being the type that caused Havana syndrome. Not much is known about the weapon, but those reports followed on-the-ground accounts from Venezuela describing how Maduro's gunmen were brought to their knees, bleeding through their nose and vomiting blood. One member of the deposed strongman's team of guards recounted afterward that, quote, suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones flying over our position. We didn't know how to react, he said, saying that helicopters then appeared, barely 8, carrying about 20 U.S. troops into the area. The discombobulator then was aimed directly at Maduro's defenders. At one point, they launched something, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside, the witness said. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. We couldn't even stand up after the sonic weapon or whatever it was. Maduro, 63, is now locked up in Brooklyn federal jail, awaiting trial on narco-terrorism charges, while his former vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, serves as Venezuela's interim leader. We have a great relationship with the new president, Trump said. She's been terrific. And you got to just wonder, like, what in the world? I feel like if they're revealing this, and I say this frequently on this channel, I feel like if they're revealing this, this is 20 years, we're 20 years behind what they are revealing to us. I say the same thing with AI. AI, if AI comes out, it's a technology, new technology that's proliferating among the masses. Well, that's 20 years behind what the government has. If they're allowing us to know about the discombobulator, a directed energy weapon, well, what do they actually have? This is a secret weapon that they revealed to us. What do they actually have? Hearing something like this, you think, well, maybe chemtrails, maybe weather modification, geoengineering. Maybe that's not so crazy. Eh? Maybe this snowstorm that's happening, hey, maybe it's more controlled than we think. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't sound as crazy. Maybe that lady we watched earlier wasn't a crackhead. So that's what they used in the Hawaii fires, right? Right. Yes. Remember that? What was that? Was it a couple years, 2 years ago, something like that, where they had all those fires in Hawaii? And Maui was no, they had ones in Maui. They had ones in Hawaii, and people were talking about, well, certain, what did they say? Certain colors, certain things were not burned down, but everything else was burned down. Trees and whatnot were burned down, but certain structures were not. And they were saying, they came out and said, well, no, this was a directed energy weapon that was pointed at us that picked up certain heat signatures and did certain damage. And people were like, you're crazy, right? You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist nut. But then now you have the president who's saying, no, actually, we do have directed energy weapons and we use them. We're using them. It might have caused Havana syndrome, right? Like, what? It's crazy, man. We got Iris C2 here saying the discombobulator is publicly patented. It was developed by Genesis Corp, the makers of the original LRAD. And you can look at the patent here. We can click on this if you want. U.S. patent. But LRAD, if you don't know, is essentially like a sound wave emitting device that they can shoot up to, I believe it's 3 miles. They can shoot this wave device that's going to shoot sound up to 3 miles away to use to disperse groups, to disperse riots and whatnot on the population. It makes them feel negative feelings, makes them feel sick. And they're saying this was made by the original makers of LRAD. The abstract says for this discombobulator, what is this thing called? Does this have a name? Systems and methods for covertly creating adverse health effects in subjects. The abstract says a method for covertly creating adverse health effects in a human subject includes generating at least one electromagnetic wave at a frequency within the range of about 300 megahertz and about 300 gigahertz. At least one electromagnetic energy wave is pulsed at a pulse frequency within a target range of human neural oscillations. At least one ultrasonic audio wave is generated at a frequency greater than about 20 kilohertz. Then at least one audio wave is pulsed at the pulse frequency. Each of the at least one pulse electromagnetic wave and at least one ultrasonic audio wave are remotely transmitted to the subject's brain. This looks like a typo. Each of the at least one, what the heck? This is from 2023. So they're saying that they're able to pulse the frequencies of the waves of sound in a directed area, and it causes people to feel sick or feel certain negative effects. And the New York Post article is saying that the Venezuelan military were looking around, they were bleeding from the nose and they were vomiting blood. And Trump's coming out saying, "Oh, we have this discombobulator that we use in Venezuela to capture Maduro." Genesis has a full suite of protective communication tools for all hazardous, providing targeting, communication, data-driven decision-making, secure interagency collaboration, zone-based planning, and outdoor speakers. LRAD systems deliver live or recorded voice and tone messages with exceptional clarity for any operational scenario, providing the ability to communicate at safe distances. No other platform delivers this option and versatility across integrated hardware and software for proactive preparedness and diverse multi-channel communication to ensure you are ready when it matters. We did a video on something similar to this a few weeks ago. Maybe that was it was longer than that. It was probably a couple months ago, where we talked about the effects of sound waves on a human. And they say this, the Hare Krishna religion, they say that there's kind of this sound, there's this kind of a religious sound, this kind of ethereal sound that emits, the world emits, this om, that is kind of a part of the human psyche, human soul, and that you get your wavelengths off, right? This is kind of like you get into the new age shit where they're like, well, your waves are off, man. We got to hit you with you got to get a higher frequency. And a lot of that I think is kooky crap, but I think there is some degree of truth to this. This is what I feel like a lot of times you research this stuff and it's like, oh, or like with the chemtrails, oh, there actually is some truth to this. And then if you hit people at a certain gigahertz, you hit people with a certain frequency, well, then they feel a certain way, it vibrates the water in them, right? Because we're made up of a lot of water and liquid. It can generate and it can vibrate us in such a way, that doesn't sound, it sounds crazy, but it doesn't sound insane that wouldn't be the case. That's going to make us feel a certain way, certain negative feelings. The Goy beams, maybe there's more to the Goy beams than meets the eye. I don't know. The van parked outside my house. Maybe they're shooting beams into my house. Maybe they don't like what I'm talking about. Maybe that's why I feel like such a lazy bum. If you ever feel like a lazy bum, you feel like, I don't feel like doing XYZ today. I don't feel like doing my show. I want to call off work. Hey, you could just blame it on the Goy beams. They're hitting you. You're fighting the New World Order. You're fighting the NWO. They don't like that. They don't like what you're posting on Telegram. So they're going to hit you with these, with the discombobulator, and it's going to make you disoriented. Oh man, I can't read my esoteric texts today. Oh, I can't fight the NWO. Oh, I got to call off work. I got to have a mental health day, right? Right. Yes. AA900. Yes. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight also had this in there, right? They had a microwave emitting device that they could turn on. It would, what did they say? It would destroy the enemy's water supply. Interesting. Predictive programming, right? I found this video as well. This was interesting. It says, imagine what it does to the cells in your body. What are we, like 70% water? If you emit a certain frequency, is it not going to vibrate and shake and contort the water molecules inside of you? And I wonder how that makes you feel. So it's not from the burgers and pies and cookies. No. See, no, it's not. None of that. Nothing you ate. Nothing you did. No. It's none of that. It's the Goy beams. It's the guy in the van parked right outside your house. That's what's happening. Go look. You can look out right now. He's probably there right now. That's why you feel so sluggish and lazy and dumb. That's probably what that is. It has nothing to do with the Burger King you just ate. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with your lack of gumption in life and your lack of going to the gym and drinking enough water and drinking. None of that. It has everything to do with, yes, it's somebody is imposing that upon you. They're shooting beams into you. Remember people hearing a strange noise coming from somewhere? What? I feel like I did hear about that, where certain towns would. Was that in America, or where was that? And they would hear a certain sound that was being emitted, and they couldn't explain where it came from. There's like, ooh, creepy conspiracies of the world, right? I feel like I heard that. Did you know why they destroyed all the bells after World War II? It is always the frequency. Different frequencies have positive or negative effects on people and the environment. Bells are also said to repel demons. Back in the day, bells were used to send healing frequencies through the entire city. Each sound creates a frequency. Each frequency interacts with us, humans, in a psychological and non-physical way. Some of them can heal you, motivate you, make you feel good, while others destroy you from the inside, let you live in fear and worry, and affect your consciousness. Wow. There was that movie I watched too, From Beyond, where the premise of that movie was this guy was a scientist, and he would turn on a device that played a frequency, and that frequency would then hit his pineal gland. It would decalcify his pineal gland and open up his third eye. And he then began to see the other dimensions. Similarly, also, do you guys remember Spider-Man 3? That was another one. Let me see if I have. You guys remember this? You guys remember this? He hits the bell, and it affects the symbiote on him and makes it freak out. And that's how he eventually gets rid of it, is that he hits the bell over and over again, and then he rips it off. Something to that. There might be something to that. Did y'all hear that Vance's wife is pregnant? Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. What is that? Is it their third or fourth child? Nikola Tesla, if you want to find the secret to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Yeah. I think there's something to that, frequency and the vibration, for sure. It's another reason why, like, you go to a traditional, like, if you go to like an Orthodox church, it's like, you know, the liturgy is sung in such a way, has this higher frequency, whatever it is. You know, when I first went to one, it's like, whatever it is, you can hear, you can feel that it has a pleasing and a godly, holy sound to it, you know? And there's something to that, just off of base reaction, base instinct, that I think there's truth to that. What is it supposed to mean? The dude is holding the thing? The thing? He's saying that frequencies of sound can affect water, and water is, you're made up of liquid and water. 70% of you is made up of H2O, right? And that emitting a certain frequency in a directed manner can affect maybe the molecules in your body and make you feel a certain way, make you feel sick. As Trump admitted, a discombobulator, directed energy weapon. And as people talked about with, like we said, Maui and Hawaii and whatnot, these fires that are occurring, well, oh, the directed energy weapon. well, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. It's like, well, maybe there's more to that than meets the eye. I don't know. Fourth kid. They're having the fourth. Ah, good for him. All right, we're gonna move on. This is probably gonna be our last segment of the night. We're gonna look at this Miami fiasco that happened. So Nick Fuentes and Sneeko and Andrew Tate, the Red Pill Avengers. They went out to clubs in Miami and they played Ye's HH song, if you catch my drift. And hilarities ensued. So let's take a look at this. I hope I don't get dinged for copyright for playing this. Yeah, in the Dark Knight, it turned water in pipes to steam. What about the human body? Right. I mean, exactly. Like, that's an interesting thing to think about. That's an interesting conspiracy. Interesting schizo brain take, especially when they're admitting it. Like, okay, maybe it's not so crazy. But I don't know. Okay, let's take a look at this.
They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
Look at the people in the background.
Wake up! They don't understand the things
Look at the people in the background. Look, Andrew Tate's like, he's kind of like, yeah, it's funny. Look at the guy in the background. The guy in the background's just like, are they gonna play Fiend? They're like the only people. They're like the only people who give a shit. Apparently, Sneeko put it on. He told him to play it. Kind of funny. The culture's changing, guys. The culture's changing. The club played N-word HH, and the culture's changing. Well, Sneeko told him to put it on, but whatever, man. Whatever. But apparently they got kicked out of the club. Well, they didn't get kicked out of the club, but they got banned from... Apparently they got banned from clubs in Miami because of that. A lot of people of the Jewish community did not like that. And then that was very frowned upon. So they banned them from clubbing in Miami. We got Aiden Ross here. Let's see what he has to say.
They got banned from every fucking club. They got banned from every fucking club. Are you fucking kidding me? How? Well, I'm not going to say how. The Miami clubs are all... Dude, Miami's all Jews. Like, they're so fucking dumb. They should have done that shit in, like, I don't even know. I think everybody has seen that fucking clip, and it's not a one-person thing. And I love Sneeko, but I didn't fuck with that clip personally, only because my family saw it, and they got mad at me. I said, listen, guys, this is just an act. He loves Jews. Sneeko's Jewish. Sneeko's dad loves me. And I'm like, bro, Sneeko. I'm like texting him on the side, like, dude, my mom, my dad, come on, bro, what are you doing? They got banned from every fucking club. Are you fucking kidding me? How?
Yeah, and he's right. Miami is very Jewish. But they're like, shit, for the culture. We'll do it for the culture. I didn't know Miami was located in Israel, right? I mean, it's like, what did you expect to happen? People, you're going to play this song. And it's like, it's a famous song now, people, yay. It's yay. It's not like it's some obscure artist, but I don't know. I don't. If the private company, if the club allowed it, who cares? It's like, who gives a shit? They're allowing him to play a critically acclaimed artist's song. Then you got to bring in all these other, you got to bring in the external, the brigades that got to come in and they got to say, nope, shut it down. Shut it down. We're done. They're done. They're banned from all clubs. What happened to the club who played? Did they get any hot water? Why do we gotta, like, that's the thing. It's like, you go to a private place. This is why, like, the whole private public bullshit is just like, doesn't even make any sense anymore. It doesn't even matter. Because you go to a private club, they are okay with it. They allow it. They play it. And then you get banned, you get harassed, or you get the rules, you get the boot, the law come down on you, and you're not allowed to go to any clubs anymore in Miami. It's like, all right, I don't know. It just seems a little ridiculous. It's like, why would they even allow you to play that at all if it was going to be such a big deal? And even if you do play it, who cares, dude? It's a private club. They can do what they want. But then we got Clavicular here. We're going to look at some of the reactions of this. So they got banned from clubs in Miami, and we got the reactions here of each of them.
Oh, wait. Can I play a song for you? Oh, wait. Can I play a song for you?
Oh. Dude, he's so based. He's so based. He's so based. I can't believe how base Clavicular is.
Can I play a song?
He's 20 years old. He's 20 years old and he bone mashes and he smokes meth. Dude, he's so based. Dude, I hate, like, Nick and Sneeko and Andrew Tate, like, maybe there's a degree where it's like, all right, man, like, they've gone through the ringer, like, okay, they're the face of whatever this is, right? But, like, Clavicular comes in way after the fact, bringing up the caboose, and he's trying to be this, like, red pill Avenger, and it's like, dude, shut up. Shut up. Myron's response. Okay. I don't even know if I could play this on YouTube, but whatever. Kind of a banger. Okay. Chill. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my God. Okay. Am I gonna get banned for the? Is YouTube? Listen, I'm just covering it. That's all. I'm just covering. I might have to private this one. I wanted to. Damn, dude. Here's the thing. I want to keep my streams up, but if I'm watching this shit, I can't leave this stuff up. I can't. It's gonna hit me with something. TOS something. Maybe I should just skip Myron's part. I should just skip this part and gone right to the next. Shit like this is not actually helpful, man. I know it is crazy. He does this shit for 2 minutes straight. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Wait, he gets up. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Yeah, literally. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Dude, I don't know, man. Like some of this shit, like, you know, you could talk about like Zionist like influence and Jewish power and shit like that, but like when you get into this type of shit where it's just like so like I don't know, it's like it almost it gets into the realm of like being distasteful and like on the same level as like watching like that Rakai, you know who Rakai is, that guy, like that streamer, like you get into that shit where it's just like, dude, this shit is just like degen for degen's sake. And it's just like, bro. What is the comment on this? All right. And then people just fighting in chat. You know, one of the things I do like about this type of stuff is that here's one of the things is that I think the racism shit and the like, especially in a diverse society that America is and has become over the years, it's like you do need to just break down this shit because this is like, it's not going to be conducive to a unifying culture to have people stepping on eggshells and caring about minority groups, caring about offending Jews, offending black people, offending Hispanics. It's just like, dude, just like fuck off. You know, like let's just be chill. Let's just be humans. We all want to prosper. We all want to be free. We all want to be, you know, we all want the same shit. And having to walk on eggshells like we had been for the last 10 years with the liberal left-wing woke bullshit, that's not conducive to unity. That's not conducive to being close with somebody. That's not conducive to bridging divides. No, we're gonna. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna hound on me and you're gonna shit on me for microaggressions and I mean, you said this, he said that. I mean, I've had people do that shit to me. Where it's like, whoa, what you said there was a little. It's like, dude, just be a fucking human. You know, let's just be human. Like, what are you getting at here? You want no, because it turns into this whole power play thing. It turns into this whole social power play game where it's like, well, he said this thing that I personally don't like. He said this thing, it becomes relativist, becomes like, well, if the individual person just has a problem and they're so sensitive that they have a problem with it, well, then they, in some sense, in this kind of, you know, flat and egalitarian society, they say that the person who's the most offended then becomes kind of the person, the psychopaths will use the being offended as a way of one-upping you. Because there's no caste system, there's no hierarchy in this society where we have this kind of, oh, yes, you are. But no, the way to do that in a kind of egalitarian system is to take the lesser position and say, you're oppressing me. You're harming me in some way. You're on top of me by what you said. You're the small little thing that I'm going to impose on you relatively. I'm just going to say, I'm going to set the rules prior to the engagement. I'm going to set the rules of what that is. Well, you did that. Well, then therefore I'm above you because you offended me and you're trampling on me and oppressing me. It's like, that's bullshit. That's sick psycho behavior, man. Fuck that. Get the shit out of here. Who cares? I agree with that in that regard. Now, Myron, he goes a little hard. He goes a little too far where it's like, dude, this is just like racism, right-wing brain rot. Like, that's a little much. But I don't know. Maybe that's what we need. Yeah, giving people permission to take things very personally and get extremely offended exactly how you prevent unity. And the more different everyone is, the less sensitive people will have to be in order to have any peace. Yeah, right. The more you create, you know, the diversity of the culture, you're going to have more of these kind of superficial differences where, okay, I'm Jewish, well, I'm black, well, I'm okay. And you cannot walk around society with those things impeding people from getting along. Because you can dissect that a billion different ways, man. Somebody in a wheelchair, somebody who's disabled can look at somebody who's playing basketball and be like, man, just them by the nature of doing that, they're flaunting that in my face. Then they're oppressing me, right? Like that's literally like the type of shit people would do is like, no, we have to make this all inclusive for even disabled people to play bad. It's like, no, man, let's just like be out with it. This is like the reality of it. You're not going to play basketball to the level of that we're playing it, but we're also not going to play it at the level of LeBron James, right? It's like, yeah, we have to live in reality. We have to understand. We have to have unity here. We have to get along. And I think this type of shit is actually kind of good to a degree. Now you push too far. This kind of shit is good to a degree, but you push too far and you get like people who then actually are like, I hate these people. And it's not just a meme. It's not just funny trying to break down kind of these sore spots, in society. It's, oh, I actually don't like these people. I actually want, negative things to happen to them. I actually hate them, right? Hate, that there's something to that. And I hate it that when you say, oh, hating people, I hate that. Right? I hate that it's become, well, if you speak about hateful rhetoric or being hateful towards people, that must mean you're a libtard. Well, because the woke culture of the last 10 years they've put the word hate and being hateful as this kind of overbearing, ridiculous, feminized, like these microtransactions, this type of microtransactions. Wow. Microaggressions, I should say. These microaggressions, we've made it so overbearing that what is hate, it can be construed as anything that we want to see under the sun. We make the rules. Now it's almost like if you say, well, nah, that guy's actually being kind of hateful. Like, no, that guy's actually being like an insane, hateful bigot. Well, whoa, you're a fucking libtard. What are you, woke? It's like, no, I'm actually like trying to be conducive towards unity, which is what we should be doing in this society, right? We should not be pushing for conflict and war and hate and degradation and violence and suffering, right? We should not be pushing for this shit. We should be pushing for unity and virtue and love and understanding. That's the Christian way. But then, you've just got to, you see how it's been contorted. It's been molested in a way, right? The idea of hate. Well, there is actually hate out there. There are actually people who are hateful, but we've taken that and made that this pussy, like overbearing understanding of hate, to where it's like it's almost like you can't even call out that stuff without seeming like you're a libtard. Like I've said stuff recently where I think, wow, I guess I'm like a libtard now because I actually agree with that. That's actually a hateful representation or a hateful thing that they said. And it's like, wow, I'm sounding like a libtard. But I hate that. That's like a mind control. It's like, no, call out actual hate. Call out what it actually is. Is somebody being disgusting? Is somebody not living up to virtue? But you have to have a litmus test of what actually virtue is, what actual goodness is, and a spirit of those things and a direction of those things in society. And you can only have that with some sort of, I think, metaphysics, some sort of religion, some sort of objective truth, some sort of objective moral truth to the world, some sort of objective ethic. So then you can actually have a litmus of what is and isn't. But the left doesn't have that objective ethic. They just create it wherever they see fit. And then they impose it upon you wherever you let them impose it upon you, because it's all about power. It's all about a power struggle and power relations. And we allowed it for so long that we're now pushing against it, and we're saying that shit doesn't exist at all. And that's not actually true. Not true. Hate is real. Yeah, it is. In fact, I literally was just thinking earlier today that hate is more common and easier to fall into than people think. Absolutely. Seething, resentment, suffering, hate, right? That type of shit. Like oppression, tyranny, that type of shit is absolutely alive and well. But I feel like people use the woke period of time that we lived through as a mask and a cover for their own disgusting, vicious behavior. And they want to say, what? You don't want me to genocide a population? What are you, a fucking libtard? What are you, a woke libtard? It's like, no, dude, I think that you're being a little, you're doing a little too much there. I have some reservations against that. Oh, you're a cuck. It's like, fuck you. How about that? How about I hate you? How about that? How about I hate you? How about I hate you? What are you going to say about that? Man, you're what am I? Am I being hateful towards you? What are you, a libtard, right? Back in the day, didn't men only use coarse language around sailor men friends? Yeah, well, you gotta go with the times. No, I'm just kidding. Truck drivers and mechanics. Back in the day, women didn't use coarse language at all. We need to reclaim them. They tried to claim love too. Yes, of course, they don't know what hate is. They don't even know what love is either. Absolutely. So true in chat. Alexandra in chat. So true. They want to try and make love, right? Love is love. Love is love. What are we talking about here? What do you even have for a basis of what love or hate is? These people are amoral atheist goblins. How do they even know what Christians, people with a moral ethic foundation, Christians, people with a moral ethical foundation, they have an actual claim, justification for what these things mean and how they actually are acted upon in the world. The left doesn't have any of that. And so they impose their own understanding of these things, which took the form of tyranny in a lot of ways. And then you get the reaction, which is total, absolute disillusion, just destroying whatever that is. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Whatever word you're using doesn't exist. I'm going to just be a vicious, savage, crazy person. And I think, man, I don't think I like that either. Okay, we got Sneeko's reaction here.
Oh, Sneeko's a loser. You got banned from the club. You got banned from the club. Oh, Sneeko's a loser. You got banned from the club. You got banned from the club. Man, nigga, fuck the club. Fuck the club. If that's my last time at a club, there with the niggas, playing some great music, having a good time, then fuck it, man. Go out with the fucking bang. When's the last time you went to a nightclub and the mayor started seething on national news because of the song? The same guy who allowed a war criminal into his city and said nothing about it. If that's my last time at a club, I did better than everybody else who went to the club.
Right.
What, I can't go anymore? The place sucks anyway. It's demonic, it's haram, it shouldn't be there. A bunch of whores, fake friends, networkers. They don't need to be there. Leeches. It's the worst place ever. Alhamdulillah, I don't get to go anymore.
Alhamdulillah.
Great.
Yes.
Just like I don't have Instagram anymore. I lost that in 2024. Now I'm protected from all this fitna. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Great. Look at my face. You think I'm mad? Like people call me, you're banned from a hospitality group. Nigga, fuck that group. Think I care? Well, you want me there? Okay, fine. I'll go to a different restaurant. You think there's no other places to eat? What, I need to go to that spot to stand at a booth filled with, people on drugs and whores? Listening to Love Sosa and Fetty Wap? Like, yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Fetty Wap?
This shit is not fun unless you're fucked up on drugs or you're streaming. If I don't get a stream there, I'll stream here. Make better streams and more educational. Fuck it. Yeah, great. That was a blessing. You can't look at this stuff and, oh, fucking loser, you can't go stand in a club. Now I have more free time. Now I'm going to keep on lapping you. I didn't have YouTube for 3 fucking years and I lapped you. Now I have more time and I have YouTube and I'm still going to pass you even more, bitch. Yeah. Like, this is great.
W Sneeko. That was a W take. That's real. See, like what he said kind of was what I was saying, right? You have a war criminal who comes to Miami. I'm assuming he's talking about Netanyahu, right? Didn't he come to Miami not too long ago? They didn't say anything about it. Somebody who's actually a hateful bigot who's committing genocide. Nah. Hey, you're whatever. Whoa, but you play a fucking song at a club? One club? I mean, you're not burning crosses and shit, right? You're not like running through the streets grabbing minority. Like, what? I mean, the guy who made the fucking song is a minority. Like, what the hell are you talking about? It's superficial, and that's the stuff that I'm talking about. Is the superficial layer to it is like people are so blinded, specifically the left. Like I said, they're so blinded by what is actually wrong, hateful, and vicious that they impose these kind of superficial microaggressions. And that's the shit that you need to get rid of because it distorts the view of what actually is the problem, what actually is happening, what's actually vicious and wrong with the world. So W Sneeko. I went to a club once in college and it was lame. Yeah, I've been to some clubs. Yeah, you really just if you're not like absolutely shit faced, like yeah, they're fucking lame, dude. But people like if you're like an ardent Muslim, if you're Christian, you don't even drink, you don't do anything. It's like yeah, that shit's just not going to be worth it. It's just not. And it's like even if you're going to the club to look, because a lot of people do this. If you go to the club to look for a mate, for a wife, that's not it, dude. Like, how many people? What's the success rate of people finding a wife at a club? These chicks are there to make money. These chicks are call girls. They literally are just there to bring you bottles, to look good, and that's it. And they go home. They get paid and they go home. Like, that's just not even the place to do it. But I feel like that's what most people are doing at clubs. It's like, I don't even think most people have fun at clubs. You look at that, even this, it's like, these people don't even look like they're having a good time. Fucking Andrew Tate's putting on a weird ass smile. I don't know. It's just like, dude, everybody always acts a certain way.
Oh, Sticker's a loser.
They all act so hard at clubs too, and it's just like, dude, give me a break. You work in freaking IT, like you work up the road at the packing plant, like whatever, man. The club is structurally designed to impede conversation. Absolutely. And that's where I thrive. That's one of the issues I had was I thrive with conversation, specifically one-on-one conversation with people. If I can get people in a one-on-one scenario, we're good. But the club is like, you have to be in this general loud malaise, this cacophony of sounds. It's like, there's no conversation. It's more body. It's more like grinding and all, it's like, I don't know, man. Was not my thing. All you can do is gyrate. Yeah, all you can do is just like, that's what you do. Go stand in the corner and do that. Go stand in the corner and rub up against the trash can. That's what you got. So then we got Nick, the man himself here, doubling down on this. And we're going to get into Andrew Tate in a minute. We have a clip here. Andrew Tate was the only one who did not double down. It seems like, and I haven't seen the clip, but it seems like he chickened out. So we're going to check that in a second.
That was a legendary night. That was a legendary night. No regrets. I'd do it again. If Myron didn't put the song on, if Sneeko didn't put the song on, whoever put it on, I would have put it on. If I could go in a time machine, if I was like Charlie Kirk, if I was in Dallas
flying through Agartha,
and I was a time traveler, and I could see the future
with George Floyd
outcomes in the space-time continuum, I would do it again. Fuck it, I would do it again. I would put the song on all over again. I'd put it on twice. I'd put it on 3 times. And I would have sang all the words because that's just one legendary night. All the realest niggas in the space. Who wouldn't? The Tates, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, Clav, me. Balling out in the club, bottle service, Red Bull. Heil Hitler by Ye, blasting in the club, people throwing Romans. Things that AI could never recreate. This is an image that AI could never recreate.
Real.
One legendary night. It might have cost people millions of dollars. It might have caused some problems. We live for nights like that. People are talking. Let them talk. We had fun. I had fun at my first night in the club. First and last night. This is what happens. Still a nigga. Isn't that crazy, though? That just goes to show this follows me everywhere I go. People say, hey, man, just be normal. Hey, man, just do a normal thing. I go to the club one time. One time. I posted a green text about it. I'm like, looking down, My friends are egging me on. They want to take me to the club. They drag me out. I say, all right, I'll go to the club. Song comes on. It's my favorite song by my friend Ye. I start to enjoy myself a little. Wake up the next day, we get condemned by the mayor of the city for going too hard. But you know what? I would not prefer it any other way. You're not a real nigga if you don't go to the club and the mayor of the city puts out a statement. Thank you for doing your part, Jewish bitch. Thank you for doing your part. We appreciate it. Thank you for letting us aura farm. We cannot turn up in the club without the mayor of the city condemning us. The club bans us. The ADL is mad. It's in the New York Times. Headline, Nick Fuentes goes to the club for the first time. So thank you for letting us aura farm. That's what happens when we have too much fun. That's what happens when we turn up. Sorry for party rocking. Sorry for going too hard for one night. So I thought it was great.
I thought it was great. They played my favorite song. I thought it was great. It's like for limbic system heads, not cerebrum heads. Yeah. Yeah. Even people get on him for his usage of the N-word, but like, that's another one too. It's like, dude, who cares? Like, it's such a common word in our culture now. Like, every person, I don't care who you are, like, you've used the word. It's everywhere. Everybody uses it all the time. But people want to make it this like power play where it's like, did you just say the N-word? Did you just say the N-word? Well, I'm going to knock you out and I'm justified in doing it. I am safe. I am legal. I am right. Right? That's what people do. It's like, no, let's just like that is so bad. That kind of like the racial resentment, the cultural division is just like, break that shit down. He's clearly not using it in a negative way. Like that, it's just like devoid of context. It's just like, oh my gosh, you used the word. You used the rearranging of those letters in that way. I can't believe you did it. This is like, dude, let's just move on from this shit. Like, but people need that to be the case so they can impose their will upon you violently if they want to. Everyone has to be offended. Exactly. Because in an egalitarian system, there's no action, there's no way there, you don't go upward. In an egalitarian system, you don't go upward, right? You don't have like physical, you're not like physically overpowering people. You're not above people. There's no like actual hierarchy here. You know, there's like an economic hierarchy, of course, but like we're all equal. So the currency that you psychopaths use to get power over people is not one of overpowering, because that people shoot that. They chop the head off of that, right? Real quick. It's one of the inverse. It's offensive. You have what's offensive? What you're trying to overpower me. Right? That's what it is. We live in an egalitarian system. You're saying these things. Well, you're walking on eggshells because you're offending me. And now you're trying to overcome. You're the psychopath here. And therefore you need to be cut down. And then I can rise up. Right? That's how the psychopath gets what they want in an egalitarian system. That's what we should break this down. We get it gives the psychopath too much power. So we got Asmongold here. Let's check this out.
No, here's the grand irony. You want to know what's really funny? I really enjoyed the club. I had a great time. The music's great, hanging out, drinking Red Bull. And I was thinking to myself, I think I'm going to give up my life of hate. I'm sitting there in the club, vibing out, the lights, the music.
What do you mean?
The energy, the people.
You were the chosen one.
And I'm thinking in the back of
what
my
do you
head,
mean? You can't do that?
I think I'm going to give up my life of hatred and racism
Why?
And maybe I'm going to turn over a new leaf. Maybe I can start a new life in this club.
No, guys.
I want to make love in this club. I'm thinking, maybe I had it all wrong. I was wasting my life spewing vitriol about immigrants and Jews when I could be having a blast every weekend with my friends. I said, you know, I think I'm going to resolve to become a club guy in Miami. Maybe these Jews and women and blacks aren't so bad. But then they proved me right. My former life of hatred and anti-Semitism is completely vindicated. I am doubling down. More anti-Semitism, more Hitler, more...
They were so close. They were so close to turning him over. Damn. The mayor of Miami, he had to come out and do it. Shit, dude. He was so close. The club of God. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. That's so good. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of keck, right? It's a little keck. The music in the background
here's the
too,
grand
just
irony. You want to know what's really funny?
So good.
I really enjoyed the club. I
Love
had a
in this
great
club.
time. The music's great. Hanging out.
No.
Drinking Red Bull.
No.
And I was thinking to myself, I think I'm gonna give up my life of hate. I'm sitting there in the club, vibing out, the lights, the music.
What do you mean?
The energy, the people.
You were the chosen one.
And I'm thinking in the back of
what
my
do you
head,
mean? You can't do that?
I think I'm going to give up my life of hatred and racism.
Why?
And maybe I'm going to turn over a new leaf. Maybe I can start a new life in this club.
No, guys.
I want to make love in this club.
I want to make
I'm
love
thinking,
in this
maybe
club.
I had it all wrong. I was wasting my life spewing vitriol about immigrants and Jews when I could be having a blast every weekend with my friends. I said, you know, I think I'm going to resolve to become a club guy in Miami. Maybe these Jews and women and blacks aren't so bad. But then they proved me right. My former life of hatred and anti-Semitism is completely vindicated. I am doubling down. More anti-Semitism, more hate.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's a good clip. That's a goated clip. That's a goated clip. I'm sorry, I had to play that again. Me mom died in the clubby. Oh my gosh, dude. That's pretty funny. That's pretty cack. Okay. I want to make love in this club, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, let's recompose ourselves a bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's recompose ourselves. We're getting back to the drama and the news of the night. Now we have a clip here where Andrew Tate was on PBD with Adam Soshnick, where it seems like whereas everybody else, Clavicular, Sneeko, Myron, Nick, they all banded together. They all gave the FU to the man. Andrew Tate seems to be backing down from it a bit. I have not seen this clip. This is a fresh reaction right here live. We're seeing it live, but this is just the what I've heard around the internet is that Andrew Tate kind of sold out here. So let's check this out.
I think Sneeko played the song. Yeah. I think Tristan explicitly told me that Sneeko played the song.
If Sneeko played the song, Sneeko played the song. I don't think that any of them are deeply anti-Semitic genuinely. I think they're just kids. It gets a reaction. They think they're funny. They're on the internet.
It's breaking down walls, like we said.
I understand why some people were
It's breaking down
I go on a bus.
cultural, racial walls, divides. Like, yeah, meme it, memeify it.
And stood in a nightclub while other people played songs while I sat on my phone. So it's so clear that songs like this can't be played without meeting genuine power in the world. Don't you think to somebody who is completely detached from this situation, somebody at home who has nothing to do with this situation, watches it and sits and goes, ah, see? They are in charge of everything.
Because, like,
I understand how these...
What did they say? You know, what did they say? If you ever have an insecurity, if you have something that you, like, are sketched about, people, you know, joke about it. If somebody calls you out on something, you don't sit there and you don't cower and you joke about it. Memeify it. That's why, like, all this stuff, it's like walking on eggshells. This stuff is just bullshit, man. Joke about it. Make it a joke. It's not that serious, bro. We don't need to assault people. We don't need to cancel people. We don't need to... And that's why these types of events, like, dude, he's in the fucking club with Fresh and Fit. They're black. Andrew Tate's half black. Sneako's whatever. I don't even know what he is. Nick's like Hispanic. It's like, dude, these guys, Ye literally created the song and he's a black man. Like, why, if you're a Jewish person, even Aiden Ross is like, you know, he's a younger Jewish person, but like, why you have to be so, we're going to double down here, ban you from the clubs. And then you saw that clip. It's like, Nick's like, yeah, I was right. Oh, fuck them. Oh, I was right. They're going to ban me from the club. I was having a good time. They could have just leaned into him and been like, look, it's a joke. It's a meme. Fuck it. Break that shit down. I'm totally for that. It's a way to unify society, a diverse society.
Things get attached to my name. It's very inconvenient for me. I have Jewish business partners. I have tech teams in Israel. I have things going on, and I get a mess from this crap too. I'm not here to beg sorry from anybody. I was in a van, and I was in a club. That club also played songs about beating the shit out of women and shooting black people.
True.
I didn't put
Nobody
any of the
cares.
songs on. I'm not the DJ. If the Jewish community want to come to me and say, Andrew, we're going to drive you out of Miami or put a bullet in your head, I'll say, well, then do it, because I just sat in a car. The question is, could I have stopped it? Well, no, because I didn't even know they were doing it. What I could do is when they put it on the car is leave the car.
I think you could have stopped it. I think you could have stopped it.
How?
I think you could easily stopped it.
How?
You're the leader of all of these guys. They all follow your...
Is
and
he?
by the way, I even saw a clip, I think the Nicholas guy was... calling you out in a clip a few weeks ago. Yeah, Sneeko. He was calling you out in a couple things.
Sneeko does loads
Yeah.
of clips insulting me all the time. It's Clav and Nick who reached out to me. You're in America. We've never met before. Come through. We're with Sneeko. Is that okay? My reply was, Sneeko always has some crybaby issue with me. If he's not going to cry his eyes out, he can come. And he came along, and he made a fucking mess. And I could sit here and blame it all on him. But that's truthfully,
He made a
I don't know.
mess?
That just feels wrong to me. I'm not going to sit here and say who else it was.
But Sneeko's not your friend, bro. Because in my opinion, those are the two biggest culprits. Sneeko and Myron. This and playing the song.
And even though Sneeko's insulted me a trillion times, and even though he put the song on, I just don't think it's prudent for me to sit up here and throw him under the bus. Even though, you know, maybe I should. Maybe most people in my position would say, Sneeko's insulted me a whole bunch of times. He's going to insult me again next week. That's all he ever does is flip-flop. I didn't even want him there. He got invited by the other guys. He put the song on. He got me in trouble. Perhaps I should sit here and just blame some other dude. But
Snake Tate with the tech teams in Israel. Wow, yeah. That's interesting. You know, Andrew Tate is... Because I've talked about him in the past before, where this shit feels so astroturfed as this modern alt culture. Yes, exactly. I've talked about Andrew Tate specifically in the past, where it's like, and I've talked about Nick Fuentes as well, where I don't know exactly where these people are coming from. Are they organic actors? Andrew Tate, to me, the more and more you look into him, it's like, wasn't his dad in the CIA or something? Wasn't his dad like a Fed? Myron was a Fed as well. His name, what's his real name? He changed his name, Abdul or some shit. I mean, these people are like faker than anybody I've ever seen. And I just happen to think, you know, when I talk about Nick, because we've talked about it many times on the show, it's like he's involved with these people. I wonder to what degree is he real? You know, like, I don't really know. I don't know. And we're, you know, this is all speculation because nobody's ever going to outright say, hey guys, I'm a Fed. Of course. Like, of course they're not going to say that. But when you see what they talk about, when last stream we talked about Nick advocating for the tech Native America, he has his ads that are on my feed every day on X now for Wang Half and all of his apparel. It's like, okay, there's some deal that you'd made here with Elon? Elon's grandfather was in the technocracy movement. You're now advocating to take over Greenland and posting the Tech Native America on your Telegram. Now you're getting ad deals on X. It's like, okay, now there's like a weird connection. It's speculation, alleged. It's all alleged. I don't know. And then Andrew Tate, same deal. It's like, I don't really know. Is this generated? Is this all for a greater purpose that maybe it's not easy to see right now from our vantage point? I don't know. You're the one we think we can control, so now you're the leader and we need to stop them. Right, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I would say that he is more of a leader of like Sneeko, and I would say Myron as well in Fresh and Fit. I think that he is kind of the originator of a lot of that flavor of red pill. Nick's a little different. He kind of started his own thing. But I would say there is an element of truth to that when it comes to Fresh and Fit and Sneeko. I'm not going to say who put the song on. It was Sneeko. Right, yeah. Sociocultural containment op via these puffets. Yes, interesting. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Pigeon Post. Sociocultural containment op. And mimetic theory, too, is another one, you know. Personality types, creating these personalities, putting them out there for the public to kind of adopt. You know, it might not even be these markers and ideas in and of themselves, but it might be that these markers and ideas that they espouse, for some one reason or another, the populace looks at them and goes, you're a credible person because you talk about this stuff. So then other things they talk about also seem credible. But those other things might be the things that are manipulated. You get what I'm saying?
But what I'm actually just going to do is tell my side of the story. Tomorrow, the BBC is going to print Andrew Tate, misogynist, sits on Patrick Bet-David podcast. And my ideas are dangerous because they're convincing young men to do dangerous things. Crime against women is bad because of Andrew Tate. And they're going to say it's because of me on podcasts with my ideas.
Make women women again.
Yep.
The answer is certainly not feminism and wokeism, but the answer is certainly not keeping your women in hijabs. So which one is it?
Correct. Right. So we need to be complementary.
Agreed.
When you were in prison and you said, none of my Christian guys will write me letters, but my God, I got a lot of letters from Muslims.
Yeah.
And then you chose to become a Muslim yourself. Okay?
Yes.
And you're still practicing? Would you still consider yourself? Yes.
Yes.
Have you thought about leaving and going back to Christianity?
No. So do I want to live in America and Miami? Yes. But I don't want to live in a clown show. I don't want to live in this mess. I have 4 women with 6 children in Dubai. I'm going to bring them all here. I'm going to bring all my kids. I'm going to buy all these houses and all these things, knowing that everyone's out to get me?
No, I already...
It can come up naturally and they can get the figurative call at some point, either overtly or not. Yes, and we've talked about that too, you know, specifically with Nick Fuentes, is that, you know, it could be he's an organic actor or started organically, but... And I've, even Alex Jones too is another one where it's like you start organically, you push, you rise to such a level. I think Mr. Beast is another one, right? Mr. Beast is now working with the Rockefeller Association, and he was doing this whole thing about. I just saw there was a post about him trying out lab grown chicken, right? Like shit like that, and that's subtle, but like. You could see he's pushing in that direction. Similarly with Nick, it's like you could have started out organically as somebody who's raised on 4chan and was a Catholic, cultural Catholic at the very, you know, at the minimum. And he gets to a point to where he becomes so successful and they can't contain him anymore that they say, look, all right, man, we'll allow you to be you and do your thing, but you got to do some stuff for us. And they may offer up, say, hey, look, we have your search history. We have all your information. We'll kill you. We'll allow, you know, wasn't that the whole thing that when they posted his address after the election on X was that he even was making claims about Elon should be held responsible for this because he's allowing my address to be posted on X. Couldn't that be a shot across the bow? Like, hey, we're going to post your address on the internet and we're not going to remove it if you don't do what we want. And we're going to have people showing up at your address every day. And it got to such a point where somebody showed up with weapons and got shot, right? It's like you could even do stuff like that. It's like, okay, we're going to threaten you then maybe that's more of a passive threat. But there might be outright threats too. Hey, we're gonna just kill you. We're gonna kill your parents. Like, we know where they live too. You're gonna do what we want, or you're fucked. And then it's like, you know, as somebody in that position, you almost like you have to take it, otherwise you're dead. And it's just like, shit. Tate is ludicrous. I've never liked him. I haven't either, man. I've never watched his content ever. I don't think I've ever gone online and typed in Andrew Tate content. Oh, I'm gonna watch this shit. 4 women and only 6 kids, should have like 35 kids or something, right? Yeah.
I told you 3 years ago, Dubai is the place for you. If you want to go, the exchange
But isn't that wrong?
No, it's not. It's the life you're choosing to live.
What's the life I'm choosing to live? My life is cleaner than 99% of people in this city. There are people here in this free country living lives far more degenerate than anything I do. I sit on the internet with opinions. I sit on my laptop and I go to the gym. That's it.
So I'll ask you this.
Understand.
You want to go back to the UK and live under a sham democracy communism?
Of course not.
You want to go live under Sharia law in Iran?
I understand.
Hell no.
Listen.
So yes, I understand America has problems.
Yep.
But you're coming into the wrong room to play the America's bad victim card.
I'm not playing the America's bad. What I'm trying to do, America's not bad, and I'm an American. What I'm trying to explain is for my own personal scenario, my own personal situation, I'm trying to optimize for stability.
And that's in the most chaotic region of the world.
Yep.
There's a little country called Dubai or called UAE that's actually doing it right.
Yep.
So this is why when people take the Islamic extremism, I go, well, it's not everywhere. They actually have a peace agreement with Israel.
Yep.
The 2 probably most stable countries
That's true.
in the Middle East.
That's true.
Whether you like Israel or not.
There's Jews all in Dubai.
Because it's GDP,
Iran?
not GDT. Gross domestic product, not gross domestic terrorism.
Yeah. Where would you say we are right now in this cycle of Israel? The topic of Israel, it's always the Jews. Jews are in charge. They're doing this.
I think the Gaza situation was putting a huge spotlight on Israel. That seems to have died down now. The flotilla's gone and the bombing has stopped. That's a big part of it. But I do believe there is a huge percentage of the young male population which are so disenfranchised with the system that they're looking for somebody to blame. They're sitting here going, well, this system's broken. Who's behind this system? Why am I living in such a broken system? And there is a theory, and there's many theories as to who's in charge of the world or who built this system or why the system's so broken. There is a theory that it's the Jews. That's why anti-Semitism is going to continue no matter what Israel does, whether they stop the bombing or not, whether the Jews come on the news and shut this song down or not, whether they try and ostracize anyone who talks about them or not. None of that's going to change anything as long as you have a huge percentage of young men who stand no hope in life. So if you'd ask me, where are we in the Israel conversation? I don't think it matters what Israel does, or Bibi, what he says, or what Trump says. I don't think any of that matters. When you have all these men out here who have no hope of building a good life, they're going to find somebody to blame for it. They're turning to anti-Semitism because they're revolutionaries, because they feel completely lost. If young men could get a girlfriend and buy a house, anti-Semitism would disappear.
No.
I don't actually disagree completely with what he just said there. I think there is truth to that, is that having nothing breeds seething resentment and hatred. Is that completely wrong? Pointing the finger at AIPAC, pointing the finger at a lot of the Jewish donors of the Republican and Democrat Party, right? We're pointing the finger at a lot of the Jewish leadership. It's like, no, that's to say that there's no Zionist or Jewish influence is, I think, false. I think any sane person can look at that and be like, that's false. But at the same time, people do, again, as we've said earlier in the stream, people take the conspiracy stuff, they run with it. They also take the Jewish shit and they say, well, my life is so shit, it has to be so shit because of the Jews. And it's like, no, I think that there is a way you can pull back on that a little bit and you can say, actually, there are things that I can change, I have control over, that isn't directly related to Israel, right? Or maybe Netanyahu or wherever. So I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, I feel like he was speaking way more in a broad general sense of, oh, they're blaming these people. And it's like, no, I don't know. Jared Kushner seems to have quite a bit of sway in our government. So I don't know about that. Tate doesn't even respect his own target audience. I think he is propped up and always has been. Yeah, I think so too. I think he's propped up by the British government. What's wrong with his eyes? Is he afraid of people seeing into his soul? Nothing. He isn't cool. He just doesn't look cool at all. Clavicular should rate Tate's physiognomy. Oh, geez. One of the things I think, speaking about astroturfed and controlled opposition and just controlled ideas and philosophies, is that, and I've said this for quite a while now, is that I believe that the woke identity politics of the last 15 years or so was astroturfed, right? I think every person on the right can say this is a top-down approach to push anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-straight messaging. Like every person on the right would say that was astroturfed and that was pushed. It had emboldened actual real actors on the left, I think, to act a certain way. I mean, it's just going to have an effect on people. I understand that there are real actors. But I think that a lot of the messaging and propaganda came from the top down. But I think that the reason for that, I think, was to play, one of the reasons, I should say, was to play on a reaction. And Andrew Tate and a Nick Fuentes and a Sneeko coming in to fill that role was something that they knew was going to happen. And I think they're okay with propping up this idea, the alt-right in general, which is something that people like Curtis Yarvin, neo-reactionary movement, Curtis Yarvin, Nick Land, these types of people, they already had brewing since 2008. This idea of let's move away. Maybe it even is the logical end of the leftist liberal paradigm. And now we need something to catch people when they run away from this thing. Maybe that was an acceleration, a ramping up of this movement to push it into this resentment identity politics. So then they know people are going to react to it adversely and say, I don't want any part of that. That shit's gross. And I don't want any part of that. So, well, what are they going to do? Well, what are they going to run to? They're going to run to the ideas and the culture that we and the networks of people that we provide to them, which is this, I think Andrew Tate's absolutely one of them. One of these personalities that pushes the alt-right kind of incel paradigm. And I think there's a lot to that. I think people need to think about that a little deeper. I don't think it's just, well, he's just a cultural hero. He's pushing against the man. No, I think that they prop up also people to catch people who, they play both sides, right? They catch people who want to push against what they're pushing. People like Nick, Sneeko, and Jordan Peterson I watched grow their movements and channels, but Andrew Tate appeared on the scene fully millionaire. Yeah, that's true. There's truth to that too. I just think that like when you think about the right wing, it's this network and this apparatus. And you do have people like PBD, you do have your Mark Levins, you do have your more Con Inc. type people, your Ben Shapiro's. But then there's this other layer that's like the alt-right or more right-wing people that is largely, I think, understood. Like these are the people that are propped up that are a little further right that you can probably map on. And one of these days I want to do this, but I want to map these people on where they actually place in the right-wing sphere. And I think of that apparatus, you have certain talking points, you have certain persona, you have certain personalities that fall in line with what those things are, with what the talking points are of the further right. And within that milieu, you might have organic people, but you also might have non-organic people or people who have been adopted into the more like overarching governmental structure. They're more bought off people. And I think that that's actually happening. And it's tough to tell in a lot of scenarios, but sometimes it's easier. It's easier to tell than others, but I don't know, man. I think that there's just like a whole network of things happening here that I don't think that a lot of us are privy to. And a lot of it is speculation. I understand that, but I don't want to be on the receiving end of the Patriot Act 2.0. I mean, we kind of already are, but I don't want to be in this scenario to where, you might have listened to Fox News back in the day, a Rush Limbaugh type person. You might have fallen into following what the Bush administration said back in the day about 9/11 and the war on terror and the Muslims. You're not fighting with us. You're against us. You're on the side of the terrorists, right? They fell into that paradigm. I don't want to fall into the same trap with streamers. That's just my whole thing I'm afraid of is like, you might say, well, this person's base, they talk about Israel, they talk about the Jews, they talk about immigration, whatever. But then they sprinkle in, oh, I'm going to throw the Tech Native America out there, which is something that Technocracy Inc. wants, something that Elon's grandfather wants. You know, you sprinkle that shit out there and you go, wait a minute, wait. I agreed with you on this. I agreed with you on that. I agreed with you on that. But this, I don't know. And that's a little weird. But a lot of people are not that smart to do that. A lot of people don't discern like that. They just follow the personality. And so, especially like when I talk about Nick Fuentes, like somebody like him, his followers are like fervent freaks, and it's like a cult. That's a little sleight of hand. Yes, exactly. And I think that people got to be careful with that shit. People do the same thing with Hassan too. People are like fervent ride or dies for Hassan, and it's like you might have watched this person grow and grow and grow. And they might say XYZ, that's real, but like, what about A, B, and C? And you're too stupid to discern that these things that you're falling into are inorganic and it's actually what the elite want. I knew of Tate since 2018. The brothers had a supercar rental company incorporated in the UK and owned those campsites, which is more known. A little sleight of hand. Yes, I remember, didn't Michaela Peterson date Andrew Tate back in the day? Before he was really known, I remember people on 4chan and alt-right were saying they're giving her shit more back in my alt-right days, my 4chan days. People were giving her shit saying she's dating this fucking brown, pornographer, like campsite owner. And I remember like he was not a known person. And I remember there's a picture of him. Let's see if we can find that picture. I remember he was just man-spreading the shit. Yeah, look at this fucking Jija Chad. Fuck yeah. I remember this picture, and people were like, yeah, dude, she's dating this guy. Now, King of Sheba in chat's like, I saw Jordan Peterson and watched them grow. His daughter is dating Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's the guy you're like, he just came on the scene. Is there more of a connection there? Because this was... I don't know when the hell this was, but this was before he was known. I remember people talking about this and saying she's dating some pornographer, weird British fucking brown guy. And it was just like a whole thing. And it was kind of like drama. But this was like way before he was big. It's just interesting to think about. It's like, maybe there is more of a connection there with Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. This had to have been like 2019. I was going to say 2018, 2019. Yeah. I mean, this might have even been before that, actually. They say Tate was a boxer or something too, but I haven't seen footage of it. LOL date, she visited him. I thought they were like together for a while. 2019, he had a viral video of him breaking a baseball bat with his shin. He just boxed a month ago and lost. This happened while Jordan was sick. Wasn't he always sick? He's on those benzos all the time. Are they taking him to Zombieland with the benzos? They tried to do it with Kanye. They did it with MJ. Hey, now we're getting schizo hours are being extended to 11. I don't know, man. I think that there's just a lot more behind the scenes that's going on than we realize. I mean, like even you said, yeah, like PBD, you know, they're very, free speech oriented or whatever. They want to talk about whatever. They'll have Nick on, they'll do whatever. But you're right. There is an Israel Zionist bent to them. And you can feel that and you can hear it. And even when they talk favorably about Muslims, there's been rabbis who have talked about how Islam is the broom of Judaism. So like even something like that, where even if you want to speak favorably about Islam, moving the Muslim immigrants into into Europe, into the UK, people go, if Jews are behind mass immigration, why would they want Islam to? Well, they're playing both sides because they know they can control and use the Sunni Shiite, Oded Yanan type plan to control Muslims easier than they can control maybe the various factions of Europe, the various ethnic groups of Europe. And you can utilize, like they have in the Middle East, Muslims and Islam and the controlling of proxy groups to get what they want. So they're playing both sides. So it's like, even when PBD talks about maybe even semi-favorably about Islam, it's like, there's still kind of something there that they're controlling. There's still a side there that they're controlling. The Zizek Peterson debate. Yo, I remember that. That was boring as hell. Who the hell can even understand Zizek? Like, he's like, talks like this, and it talks like, what the fuck are you even saying, dude? Do you speak English, motherfucker? How are you famous? Wasn't Jordan Peterson given a lot of drugs? Yeah, I mean, benzos, man. He was like big on that. He became chemically addicted to it, and now he's crashing out. I don't know. Maybe there's more there than meets the eye. That's why I said, maybe they sent him to Zombieland, like I said. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't know. Okay. There's an old audio clip of Peterson getting asked if he ever smoked weed, and he answers he has smoked weed every day of his life. Really? Really? He said, I smoke weed every day. Bloody hell. I smoke weed in the morning and at night. I'm high as a kite. Hey, that rhymed. Bloody hell. You gotta drink a 40 with your blunt. You live right on the edge of order and chaos, yeah? You drink that 40 ounce and you smoke that blunt. And you're right on the verge of crashing out. But you don't. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Oh my gosh. I need my OG Kush. I need my Blastoise OG. I'm high as a kite. It's real, rare find, and noticeable. He never talks about it. I don't know how I would find this. SIGs 2. How would you find this? I don't know. Somebody will have to send it to me. I don't know where that is. I've never seen that. I don't know. Somebody will have to send that to me. If anybody finds it, send it to me on X. DMs are open. Anyways, all right. We're going to call it there, boys and girls. That's going to be the end of the stream. It was a good one. Clips will be up during the week. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you guys are all safe during this blizzard that's occurring or about to occur, depending on where you live. We will be back next Saturday, 7 p.m. We'll be here. So I will see you all then, and everybody have a good night.